We've got one shot.
This is absolutely spectacular.
We've only got one shot. We've got one shot, one shot. Do you feel alive? We've got
What a
one
race
shot,
we
one
are
shot.
watching here.
We've got one shot. Do you feel alive? Get in.
Threading the eye of the needle with surgical-like
We won't
precision.
back down to feel alive. Waiting for the chance to show the world who we are. We've only got one shot. We've only got one shot.
It's an outstanding overtake.
We gotta do it right to feel alive. Waiting for the chance to show the world who we are. We've only got one shot.
Welcome to Creator Series Season 13.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Creator Series. We are back, baby. It's Season 13 and it's round 4 and we are off to Austria. And it's going to be closer than ever. We all know it's one of the shortest tracks on the calendar, which means every 10th will be important. Will we have any yellow flag shenanigans like we did in real life? Only time will tell. All of our creators are back and ready. One noticeable absent person, can't speak anymore, is Raz, and he will not be here, but we do have all your big heavy hitters ready to go and ready to cause some carnage. It will not just be me you will be looking at throughout this broadcast. We have Josh Richards as well, who will be on the ground, clipbook, getting all the replays for you as ever. Josh, how are you?
I'm doing really, really well. Looking forward to this one. And at a track where we usually get some really good racing as well. I'm very excited and potentially hoping to see a couple cars upside down. You never know.
Yes, just like F2 last year, was it? We had the car completely flipped, if you remember that. All right, okay, let's look at last week. Last week, we went to the Mad Ring for the first time, and it was a bit mad. We did a Razin that took the first place, though, with teammate Marduk in second, Tom 97 in third. Really nice to see him up there. We know he's got the speed and the pace, but usually something goes wrong, usually a disconnect. Gillen in fourth, Gullis in fifth, Lolly in sixth as well. I had a penalty. Yikes. That guy Vince P7, we had Kareem PA, Scotty Designs in 9th, and 10th we had Ricky Josh.
Yeah, and then we had Safso in P11, Meraki in P12, Adam Sanderson P13, Concept 7
Usual.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Matt 212 in P15, and that's the points done. Fimex, Ryan L83, Tuki, Emphatic, and Grid Jokes, I think. No, Grid Jokes did DNF, sorry. Emphatic was your last finisher. Grid Jokes crashing out in that final few laps of chaos, and then just David and Chappers, the other two retirements from the race.
Yeah, sad days. But we move on, and it's a new round where anything can happen. Let's bring everyone else in so that we can see the amazing commentators that we're going to have tonight for you. We have Alex Seren, and we have Carl Puranik. Carl, welcome. How are you, mate?
Hot. Very hot.
Yes.
But I'm good. Other than that, it's great to be back for another round. Madring was mental. I'm surprised I'm still got a voice. It had the structure and integrity of a certain submarine, if you know, you know, by the end. Austria's going to be interesting. It's much less, I think, much less chaotic. A little bit of return to normality. Much more freedom to roam. It's going to be interesting.
Yep, Alex, welcome back as ever on the comms. Okay, let's talk about Austria for a second. A lot of straight mode zones in this track, right?
Yeah, there certainly is a lot of those modes. Obviously, 2026, a very different regulation to what we've seen in the past. And Austria, known for having 10 corners, but only really 7 of them are actual corners. So it's going to be very interesting to see our drives perform here. I think ERS management's going to be top quality, and also the weather could play a part. It's very hot in Austria. Also, could get a bit of rain in the air. So I'm looking forward to this one.
I hope so. I could do with a little bit of craziness going on in this race. Yeah, you've hit a good point there. At battery, ERS usage, straight mode zones, it's going to be really, really important. It's a short lap where, Josh, I feel like if you make, especially in the race, if you make a mistake and you use too much battery in one lap, it's going to take you a couple of laps to get back into the swing of that, right?
Yeah, I mean, this track it's so relentless for the battery because you have so many straights and so few corners. You really have to manage your battery to perfection. Otherwise, one lap, maybe deploy like 5-10% too much battery, you're going to be down that 5-10% for the next few laps unless you really back off and lose a lot of time to the cars in front. It might make overtaking a little bit difficult as well, but it could just bring us even more as well. You never know really what you're going to get.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I had to sit down with the track last night, and I got to sort of look at it, Carl, and see all the way up to turn 4, turn 5. If you use too much battery, I know it's a short track, but that's a long second half of the course to be with minimal battery, especially for that last straight mode zone. You're screwed, right?
Oh yeah, it completely wrecks the rest of your lap. It's one of those. I think it's alongside Silverstone. It's another really tricky one that's high speed, fast flowing. Well, you don't really have many opportunities to do it. You see a golden carrot dangled in the form of turn 3. You think, yes, I'm going to save all the battery I can. And then you're deceived, and then you burn the rest of it, and it's not happy days. But it's patience is going to be a virtue. That's kind of the thing that I think you and I, Scott, have probably both found, and probably everyone has found about this DLC, is that patience is a virtue. You might have to wait and just save up the battery, but you know if you have the surplus, you're going to rock it on by. Never been more important than here.
You know, I hated it at the start, but every week that goes by, I'm kind of liking it a bit more. I don't know, maybe I'm just slow and bad at the game, but I'm genuinely having fun with it. I feel like it definitely is not just all about who's amazing with no traction control on and can time it perfectly. I feel like other people have a sort of more of a chance. Strategy comes into play. Alex, if you're looking at tonight, see the reason I love Austria, by the way, qualifying specifically, like we're talking a 10th could be the difference between 4 or 5 drivers, right? What are you excited for in this race, Alex?
I'm looking forward to seeing where we can get our qualifications, because honestly, it's a track where overtaking is not at a premium. You can overtake wherever you want to in this track, especially with your ERS. So I am very much looking forward to seeing where people qualify. But honestly, wherever someone qualifies, don't expect them to stay there until the end of that Grand Prix, because also known for a lot of incidents around the Austrian Grand Prix, obviously running up into turn 3, that heavy braking zone, people are going to be sending up the inside. We all know that. And of course, the final corner where we saw Max Verstappen crash in real life today. So maybe we'll see something similar to that.
Mate, okay, let's just do it. Let's just do it. How on earth is George Russell on pole? I don't understand. Josh, play devil's advocate. How on earth has he got away with that?
I think basically the way the stewards have looked at it, it was a single yellow, supposedly, at the time that he went through, and he lifted, I have seen the telemetry, he lifted 100 meters earlier than the previous lap that he did. So he technically backed off, and technically it was a single yellow flag. So technically it's allowed. Technically.
Yeah, I can't even say that word. Update for tonight, guys, because F1 26 is F1 26. We will not be doing a formation lap tonight. It has been causing some problems, so we will not be doing that tonight. So after qualified, we will be straight into the race start. Load of rubbish. Load of rubbish that he got that pole. All right, that should have been Leclerc. Was it Leclerc should have got it? That could have been magical, but no, George Russell. Yay. Okay, all right, enough moaning from me. Carl, who's going to win tonight?
Oh, I'm going to put Tom 97's hat into the ring. He's a reserve. He's in the Cadillac in place of Mango. The reason I say that is purely statistical, because no driver has won the Austrian Grand Prix twice, ever, in Creator Series. So I'm going to put a new name up there.
God, I love all your weird facts that you guys always come up with. The research that goes in behind the scenes, guys, I absolutely love it. Alex, who's winning?
You're making me go after Carl came up with a fact that I have no knowledge of at all.
Sorry.
So I'm going to pick the obvious choice. So Josh Carr, Alex Gillen is going to win the Grand Prix.
All right, okay. Okay, well, do you know what? We've got to you now, Josh. Are you going to agree, or are you going to go someone different?
I surprisingly wasn't gonna go Alex Gillen. I'm gonna say Razin Chai. He's been in some pretty strong form and off the win last time out. Oh,
He's not here.
well that's great. He's not here.
So
Well,
we're going
that's
to lock
lovely
that
to
one
hear.
in, guys. Yeah,
Lock that one in.
definitely.
You never know.
Or not.
Great job.
You got,
You never know.
Mate, right? He might just
He's
turn
gonna
up,
show up
right?
after qualifying and take a reserve seat.
I love it. All right. No, guys in the chat, let us know who you think is going to win. Also, throughout the week on all of the social media platforms, we give you some behind-the-scenes content. We give all of these kind of clips throughout the week as well of incidents that have happened. If you want to see a Rage and Fabio, go and follow us on all social media, Instagram, TikTok, everything, Creator Series, GG. You can find us there. All right, I am saying Lolinoba is winning. He has a vengeance and definitely will be the one to win tonight. And I just see it because he was in first, right, Carl, last week, but then there was penalties and stuff that kind of brought him back down. Like, he's still got the pace, right?
Oh, for sure. Oh, he got desperately unlucky last time out. It was wrong place, wrong time when there was the contact between Alex and Ben, for example, the penalties and everything else alike. It just did not work out for him. And it's not due to lack of trying, and it's not due to lack of pace at all. Like I said, he won it on the track last time out. Just every single piece of the jigsaw has to fall into place for him. But he is another name that hasn't won at Austria before. It is possible.
I love it. We are loading into the lobby shortly, so we will take you over to the race in a minute. Yeah, final thoughts as George Russell should not have got that pole. I'm saying it again. No. And Verstappen crash. When does that ever happen on the edge on a Q3? That's going to be banging. This race is going to be banging. I hope you are all having a really, really great week. It has been heatwave week over in the UK. I hope you are ready to just chill out a bit tonight on your Saturday night. Please let us know who you think is going to win. Tell us everything. Tell us we want to see more, and I want you to give a lot of support to the commentators as they're going to bring you a banging qualifying and a race as well. Yeah, not really much else for me to say, guys. I think what we're going to do is we're going to head it off to the commentators. Carl, Alex, me, and Josh will be in the background doing all we can, but it's all up to you guys now, and I hope you have a load of fun.
Thank you very much, Scott. Welcome, everyone, to the Austrian Grand Prix qualifying time. 18 excellent minutes to decide who on earth is going to have the clearest view into turn number 1. It's my greatest pleasure to welcome alongside me, for the first time we're doing a commentary partnership, Alex Heron. Alex, welcome in. First of all, we've got a wet weather tyres lap to set.
Yeah, we certainly do. Of course, one lap to get you, well, not one lap, but one moment to get yourself a wet weather point for our drivers here. I'm sure a lot of them will be wanting to do that. This is my first time commentating with Carl, but also my first time commentating 2026 with 22 cars on the grid now as well. Another 2 extra cars. Those drivers are coming out on their full wet tyres here with 17 minutes on the clock.
Absolutely. Staffo trying to get to the front of the queue. He's like, I want the first bit of track. This is my calling. How dare you all? It's an Audi that leads the line. I'm trying to see who it is out of the Audis. It's Kareem 7T, who coincidentally got the last wet weather point in Madrid. First one for him in the wet weather account of the season for the Audi driver. There he is going through Schlossgold. Turn number 4. Imperative that he saves the battery, but now we've just made it a little bit more trickier for them. The intermediates could somewhat halt temperature. Wet tyres, all game, those internal carcasses are going to be screaming as they go around here.
Yeah, they certainly will be. The sun is shining here at Spielberg as we see a Ferrari on those dry tyres, just deciding he wants to get around the Audi driver. Some drivers do not attempt our little wet tyre running, but I'm looking forward to seeing what these wet tyres can do, because yeah, intermediate tyres do have that little bit more grip than those full wets do. But let's see what Kareem can do on this first lap, wearing a lovely Star Wars shirt, I must add.
Oh, absolutely. The Empire strikes back in the form of the German team. Lolinova's already left the session. That's not great. But towards turn number 3, boost on the battery. Actually lets it off just under the halfway mark. You can see it on the steering wheel. Brakes at the 100-meter board. Confidence on the brakes in the 2026 cars is the critical element that the drivers need to come after. It's something I'm still trying to... Probably everyone is trying to go after. That's the car situation. That is everyone that's going on the wet weather tyres. First driver to hit the wet weather time in anger is this guy here, the Mercurial Moroccan. Hasn't quite gone his way in terms of results this season. He has an on week and then it's somewhat of an off week as he goes round. This week though, it's even numbered rounds. Who knows? Fortune could favour this man through the left-hander. Plenty of boost to have. Looks like a clean and compliant lap, but we'll never know, Alex, until he crosses the line.
No, we certainly won't. 2 corners to go, turn 9 and turn 10. A little bit on the brakes there, but obviously these tyres not as grippy as the softs we're going to see in the near future. 104.9 for Ricky 03 on those soft tyres. Kareem, a 109.355 on the full wet tyres. Let's see what that guy Vince can do on the full wet tyres. Goes a 109.275, so faster at the moment. For a minute, I thought Thimex was on wet tyres, but a 106 would have been absolutely mental on those full wet tyres. But at the moment, Tim Marduk at the top of the timing on wet tyres.
Dimmet Marduk, a 10th ahead of that guy Vince. So the McLaren driver looking for their first wet weather point of the entire season. GB then goes fastest. 1 minute 9.010, 2.5 minutes just under to go to find out who takes home the extra point for the wet tyres. Chapper's next across the line. Can he usurp GB? No, he cannot in the second Aston Martin. No slouch by any means, though. Only a few other drivers that are going to try and set a wet weather tyre time in the form of Hayden Gullis. Alex Gillen won't get anywhere near the benchmark set by GB. Then it's up to G-Watts. Watts is back in the Williams. Great to have him back right here. Now through the left-hander, out of the right, pummeling the way and towards the Rint curve, excuse me. It was out of the Verth curve. Into the penultimate corner, outside curb, clip the inside just a touch to not kick the rear out. As much inside curb as you possibly can. Watts was certainly quick in the 2025 cars. The scenario here is it's not a bad effort, but no one can hold a candle to the Aston Martin, not even Hayden Gullis, who got P5 in the Madrid. It was a feel-good race out last time out in many ways. The Aston Martin driver looks to be safe for the time being.
Yeah, he certainly does. Aston Martin up in fourth place, 109.010 on that fully wet tyre. No one at the moment seems to be getting even close to him. Alex Gillen only a 109.7 on those tyres. Maybe he's holding out all his pressure for that main lap on those soft tyres. But yeah, good lap from GB, and it looks like he will be getting that fastest lap point. Still a minute to go, but by the looks of it, no one else challenging. Ryan L83, the only one out on another lap at the moment. So let's see if he, in the McLaren, can beat this. Ricky 03 goes faster again on those soft tyres, but we'll keep a look at those soft laps in a little bit once these wet tyre runs are finished.
Indeed. The only other drivers to set competitive soft tyre times at the moment is Halades. He's one of the reserves. If you know Halades. His raid calls are absolutely generational. And then you got Fimex in the Alpine. Still plenty of time to find for all three of those drivers. I think GB might have been going again on his wet tyres to try and put that point out of the conversation and beyond doubt for that matter. Ryan L83 will throw everything though at that particular award to try and prize it away. Round the outside, a Cadillac in the way on the apex. Lackadaisical was the Cadillac of, it was either Tom or rolling over, I couldn't quite tell you. So the pit notification came up, but Ryan goes across the line at 10.1, so that will do it. GB takes the wet weather point, and that means 4 different drivers take home the wet weather point in these first 4 rounds.
Right, it's like the 2012 F1 season all over again, except it's not race wins, it's wet tyre positions. But yeah, that was looking like a decent wet tyre lap from Ryan L83, as Concept 7 goes to the top of the timesheet, a 104.669. Don't make any jokes about that, please, in chat. As Concept 7 fastest at the moment, with his active aero online at the moment, just behind a Red Bull in front of him.
To be fair, it's not the most degenerative number it could have been, so thank you Concept 7 for not putting that number on the board. However, more drivers now, because we're past the wet weather stanza. We can put that in the shredder. Now, rising to the surface is the soft tyre slobber knocking. Firstly, Grid Jokes, who was mightily quick at the Madrid in qualifying, a top 5 for the RB driver, looking to replicate the feat here at Austria. 3rd place for the moment, about 3/10 off the pace. Now, next up on the road, we've got Adam Sanderson, who Scott Taylor is going to be punching the air, has got a purple Sector 1, according to the track map at the bottom right. Mercedes driver having a little bit of a psychological tussle with these 2026 cars. Not the biggest fan of the regulations, but he's got to put his foot down, he's got to make it matter. Through the next corner of Ralph and then into the Verth curve across the Sector 2 split. It isn't a sector. Adam seems to be on a flyer.
Yeah, he certainly does in that Mercedes. A lot of drivers still getting used to these new regulations. The management of energy is certainly a new skill. Not exactly a new skill, because obviously we had ERS management before, but it's definitely a change of pace. Adam Sanderson goes 5th fastest with a 104.956. Good banker lap from the Mercedes driver inside the top 5. Obviously a lot of big runners still yet to put a time on the board. Safso going for his first lap in the Ferrari car with the lovely flip around ring. Wing is right. I said it right the first time. As Safso sitting in complete darkness there. That's where he does his best work.
Master of manipulating the void as he heads down towards Schloss Gold. for his first time in anger on those soft compound tyres. A little bit of a lift and coast. You'll hear where the drivers are just managing their battery strategy, little by little. Kareem, the fastest man on the track at the moment. Sapso through the next two left-handers. He's going to try and prize it away from him the most that he can. His teammate flying high in P3. Sapso across, 3.6 seconds up on his wet weather time. But that means diddly squat at the moment. Still the last sector to go for the Ferrari driver. Again, lifting off for the penultimate corner. Save as much battery as you can. Again, another small lift before the final corner. Cross the line for Sapso. And it will, well, apparently still be P16. Top right. Ferrari very good.
Yeah, it's straight on from Sapso there. Did he do a invalidated lap just in the 60th on the track? But Alex Gillen goes fastest in a 1:04.480, 2 tenths faster than his nearest compatriot in Kareem 17 in the Audi. So Haas on top at the moment with a 1:04.480. There's a nice spread amongst the grid there. A lot of them in the 1:04s, a few in the 1:05s, but obviously people is still going on with a great lap. Hayden Gullis there, 1:04.769, and Lolly Noba goes into the 1:04.3, another 10th faster than Alex Gillen. The Cadillac on provisional pole as it stands, with Meraki going third fastest. Honestly, I am surprised that Cadillac are that far up with a 1:04.3.
Yeah, great time from Lolinova. Excellent work, in fact. Alex into P2, Meraki into P3. It's all coming up top trumps with 8 minutes to go in qualifying. Still a bunch of drivers yet to set a time. I say a bunch, only 3. Scotty Designs, by the way, who finished P9 last time out in the Madrid. What a legend. Tom 97, first podium of the season, and I'll highlight Tom 97 a little bit as Fimex crosses the line, gets a 1:04.6 on the board, puts him in 6th place. It's poetry in motion. But Tom 97 as a reserve, we talk about the top 3 quite a lot, as Ben now goes into 4th fastest, identical to Meraki's time. A second McLaren's across the line, expect the times to tumble, and they're continuing to do so. Tom 97 is only 4 points off the top 3, 47 points, and if he continues this strong run of form, could he even be a potential shoe-in for a championship as a reserve in this Creator Series?
Well, that would be quite the feat indeed from Tom 97. Yeah, not really. Well, obviously, yeah, reserve this season. And he is known for how quick he can be. And yet, sometimes he just gets caught up in incidents, or, you know, he gets caught up in moments of disappointment with disconnects, as you were mentioning earlier. We're currently not set a lap time on the board. I'm sure he'll be on it in a few moments' time. But right now, 6 minutes and 50 seconds left on the clock. Still quite a few laps to get onto the board. Still 3 drivers yet to set a lap. Make that 2 drivers as Tom 97 goes into a 1:04.679. Of course, someone had to do it, didn't they? But yeah, Tom 97 up in 9th place, inside the top 10.
Yeah, good effort, Tom 97. Still, like I say, plenty of track time. Still, like we say, plenty of track time to fall, because for goodness sakes, it's literally 7 thousandths between P1 and P2. The margins will compress. There is every chance that we see a 1:03 rear its head as we head into the closing stage of this season, but it has, of this session rather, but it has to be the perfect lap. The Scotty Designs is trying to extract out of the German car. Vorsprung durch Technik through Schlossgold corner, plant the power on the exit, burn the battery, and that lap, well, slow car dutifully gets out of the way in the form of one of the Hasses. Top 10 last time out for our resident legend, our flying Scotsman, that is Scotty Designs. And it's up to him. He's going to try and replicate the feat today, I am sure. I know for some intel, yesterday, Kareem's lead, he was pretty sprightly around Austria.
Yeah, he certainly was, but Scotty Designs is looking fantastically fast at the moment, coming up towards the line, crossing the line now, only 16th fastest, 1:05.0, just missing out on the top 15 there, but Scotty Designs looking decent again. Ryan L83, I believe, is on an invalidated lap at the moment, as we had a few drivers coming into the pit lane, getting their new tyres on, and going again. Meraki also on a invalidated lap. Tom 97, I believe, on what is now a fast lap, 61 thousandths up in the first sector. As we have a yellow flag in sector 2 and 3, I think that's just cars slowing down. Nothing to worry about there for any of the fans of that Haas and Mercedes in the final sector. But Tom 97 on another flying lap here.
Yeah, we've seen it. It's kind of commonplace for drivers to save the car and do 2 push laps on the same set of tyres. naturally you save a bit more by doing the lift and coast in the first place. And that's what Tom is going to use to hopefully extrapolate his advantage. A purple sector 2. So only a 10th up on what he's doing, though. It would only see him in P4. He's got to find the last sector of his life through the final corner for the Cadillac driver. Freedom fighting through the final corner. Towards the line. What's the time going to show? It's going to be a 1 minute 4.335. It's ridiculous. Less than 300ths separating P1 through to P4, and we are nowhere near done.
That is a brilliant gap to have. I mean, well, that is absolutely insanity. I mean, all of the top 16 are in the 104s, and they're all separated by less than a second. I mean, if you want to go down to P20, they're all separated within a second. I mean, that is a ridiculous grid. Infratic's still yet to put a lap time on the board. Concept 7 on a lap at the moment. But yeah, this is insanity at the moment, Carl. I am looking forward to the last part of qualifying. Maybe the race is going to be absolutely epic at the moment.
I couldn't agree more with you, honestly. If this is anything to tell from the pure compression of pace, we have no idea what we're in for. GB goes fastest in the first sector by 8/10. Although it is his first time on the soft tyres, don't read too much into it, people. What we can read into is the rest of the sectors and also any telemetry that we might have, which we luckily have at our disposal. GB's first sector, a 19.1. Apparently, according to... That's not GB's, my apologies. It's not showing up. I'll work that out later. But through sector number 2, use all the track you can. Is it another purple? We don't know, but it is 3.1 seconds up on what he currently has. It was a purple sector 1, a 15.8, a 28.8 in the middle sector, just shy of what Ricky 03 achieved, who has the fastest of the session at the moment. Through the final corner, so close to invalidating, pushing to the limit. DB goes across the line, and it will be a crash of the game. We absolutely love to see it, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic, it's P3, there you go, and well, my goodness me, 16 thousandths of a second, the margins just get closer.
Yeah, they certainly do. I mean, that was pretty much like a cinema moment. It paused on the line. It wasn't a crash, ladies and gentlemen, it was just a pause. That's what our producer wanted in that situation. That's what we can confirm anyway. But yeah, GB is currently third fastest, 104.322. The margins are closer than a close thing on close street as Meraki is going for his next lap. Could be his final lap of qualifying. Currently in P7 and a 65 thousandths up in the first sector as Alex Gillen retires from the session in second place. Has that been an incident, or can he not be any faster?
Potentially tactical as well, to try and save some tyres. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, strategies in the actual race event, you have to use one of each dry tyre compound, soft, medium and hard, pending that the race is dry all the way through, etc, etc, you get the idea. Meraki through sector number 2. GB would have thought of the 2 purple sectors, it would have been glory. But Ryan 83 goes fastest! Where on earth's that come from? McLaren Maestro sends the orange army into raptures. Not that one. Meraki wide through the final corner. Could be the invalidation station he's visiting. It's 33 thousandths down on what he could have done regardless. Now, Kareem 17. Ryan 83's pulled a magic rabbit out of the hat for the Woking base team. Kareem's got to find something magical and magisterial as well. Moroccan driver cannot improve. It's 10th place. Ryan L83 take a bow, stealing the Spielberg spotlight, but his teammate might have something to say about that.
He certainly will. A gift from the gods for Ryan L83, a 104.286. Brilliant lap and a brilliant moment at the moment. But Tierno Mardo will have something to say, as you said, Carl. He is going through the middle sector now. The grid are so tight, and there is only a few cars on the track that can do something about that lap, and this might be one of them. As he comes round turn 9 and turn 10, he's got to have it flat to the floor to get anywhere close to his teammate. Lovely through turn 9. Can he get turn 10 right? A little bit of rear end loss, but he keeps it in track limits and comes up to the line. What will he do? Only 7th fastest. Now that is a shock.
This is unbelievable. 10 seconds to go of normal time, and it's added time. This is where the true crunch really kicks in. Ryan L83 is 200ths fastest. GB's backed off, he's let a car through. He's not going to improve on his time. It falls to Lolin Ober, Ricky 03, Tom 97 to try and prize it away. This is quite the qualifying conundrum. I did not expect this. Tom 97 goes fastest for Cadillac. A 1-3 at the moment. Lolin Ober's improving as well. A stratospheric throwdown from Ryan L83 could well be usurped by not just one, but two American cars. Lolin Ober through the final corner goes wide at the death. Ricky 03 goes to P2. Lolly improves by 800ths, but it was invalid. He's not going to be any higher than P4. An absolutely astonishing result for this McLaren man, who's not going to improve on his time, but he will not care one bit. Tom 97, the pole position prince here in Austria. This is absolutely incredible.
That is absolutely marvellous. GB says he's got disqualified from the session, but I think he's just parked on the edge of the track. I'm sure that won't mess up our grid order later on, but Tom 97 pulling out a 104.090 and almost getting into those 103s that you mentioned about, Carl. Ricky 03 in second, and Ryan L83, who at the time must have thought he got himself a pole position, only to be usurped by two other amazing laps from Tom 97 and Ricky 03.
Tim at Bardic and GB, I believe, deliberately disqualifying themselves. It's not conventional driving that you will see on the Austria track. Just waiting for things to simmer down now in Spielberg. Wow. Alex, how about that? We expected a lot of the old guard to be up there. We expected the heavy hitters to be right on cue. Wow. We have had some surprises here in qualifying. I'll quickly take you through the top 10. Tom 97 is on pole by over a 10th. That's a lifetime in Austria. Ricky 03, Ryan L83 in P3, Lolly in 4th, Alex Gillen in 5th, with Meraki, Concept 7, Hayden, Kareem, and Tuki rounding out the top 10. And then that's the rest of the grid there. Absolutely crazy session in so many ways. Ryan's in 3rd, Scott. This is unbelievable stuff.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, fair play to the man. I love to see that. Okay, let's talk a little bit about that, Josh. Obviously, too much didn't happen for us to kind of look through clips-wise, but there was definitely some talking points there. One, what on earth happens with Tom 97? Is he back? Is he finally back, Josh? Mr. Muted, we've caught you again, mate. You've been caught.
I can't get away from this. This is just a fact of this broadcast, as I'm always going to forget to unmute. I think, to be honest, Tom 97 never really left. He might not have been here for a lot of the races, but his pace has always been there. The fact that he's up at the front, I don't think is too big of a surprise. I think the big surprises are the fact that we've got Ricky 03 second and Ryan L83 third. I think Ryan is probably the biggest shock of this entire qualifying session.
100% just came out of there incredible. He's obviously nailed something with the strategy there. It's definitely going to be a nervous 5 minutes for him though. Like, he's got to start this race and not mess it up, which sometimes is easier said than done. I was thinking that the track limits in that final corner were a bit weird, right? Was that just me that noticed that?
I
wide.
didn't. Yeah, apparently GB lost his final run at the final corner, which would have put him 3rd fastest. So I think maybe there's something going on there. The drivers are trying to abuse it, and maybe it's not working out for some of them. But yeah, track limit's always going to be a talking point here at Austria, of course.
Because I noticed Lolly improved on that time, and he was not anywhere near the track limit. So, okay, if you're driving Austria, guys, okay, play around with that final corner. All right. All I can say is I thought the qualifying was going to be narrow, and other than Tom beating everyone by a 10th, that was actually nuts. Like, that was insane. We had about a second that separated everyone. If I had to pick your brain, Josh, why Team McMardick and GB quickly? Why did they disqualify?
Just for a bit of fun, I think, to be honest. I don't see a competitive reason why they want to do that. Just get some content, get some overtakes in, and have a bit of fun here.
Love it. We're talking about fun. Let's go have a great race. Take it away, guys.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Josh. Welcome to race day at the Red Bull Ring. Myself, Carl Poranic, and of course, the amazing Alex Heron is alongside me. I mean, Alex, what a qualifying session we had. Tom 97, we expected the heavy hitters to be right at the front, but then Ryan L83, so many L's you take, but if you take 2 L's, you make it a W. Honestly, wow, what a session from him.
Yeah, I mean, that was a ridiculous lap. I mean, we both sitting there thinking, where the hell did he pull that from? And then, you know, to have Ricky 03 and then Tom 97 pull out an even better set of laps was fantastic. By the looks of it, we're looking at a bit of a dry Grand Prix, which is going to be probably even more interesting because everyone's pace seems to be that close. I mean,
really
within a few inches of each other. If that pole position has anything to say about it, I think Tom 97 has a chance of winning this one, but honestly, I'm not sure.
It's all important. The all important thing is that start. I think if he keeps that track position, I think he knows he's got the pace and the racing IQ to keep that track management. But if you get someone like a Ryan L83, a Ricky 03 getting a good start and usurping the track position, it just becomes a little bit more complicated. It does become a bit of a battery war. So it's all going to be a bit of a patient game out there.
Yeah, I mean, patience is a virtue, and obviously racing drivers, maybe they say they've got good patience, but we all know no racing driver has good patience because they want to go for that overtake. So I am very much looking forward to this start. Remember, guys, no formation lap and 20 seconds until we get started. So, Carl, I will throw it over to you.
Thank you very much. We might have moved from a street circuit to an open field, but doesn't change a thing. It's just another Colosseum of chaos that Creator Series can visit, just a few moments away. Alex leads the championship. Razin is P2, but isn't here. Ben P3 starts at the back, but now the symphony of V6 turbo noise erupts into life. And it is lights out, and away we go. Tom gets a great start from P1, absolutely scorches on through. Ryan L83 covers the inside to try and thwart the attempts of Lolin over the reigning champion, but he just sives on through round the outside. Great start from both of the Cadillac drivers. Alex Gillen also getting interested. Kareem making up places as they look to navigate turn number 3 safely. 3 wide at the moment, which sees the Haas of Alex clip slightly. All millimetrically close to each other, but they do manage to sort themselves out. Tom leads from Ricky 03, who's trying to pile on the pressure. Lolly in P3, but they're down the inside. Goes Concept 7, blazes and overcooks the braking, and then gets a snap on the exit for good measure. He drops a whole host of places towards the double left-hander. How can you even call this? Side by side, everywhere you look, Meraki tangos on round the outside. Beautiful stuff as they head towards the end of the first lap. It's all go immediately in Austria.
Yeah, it certainly is. I was going to say they're all behaving themselves in turn 1 and then they all decided, well, let's have a go. As we see an Alpine go wide there as Fimek just moving down into P9. Tom 97 fastest lap of the race as we get started here. 3 wide going into the first corner there between the McLaren, the Audi and the Mercedes of Meraki. But Tom 97 and Ricky's, we've got a yellow flag in sector 1. Someone is dropping down the order and I believe it is Grid Jokes who is round in the background. Ricky 3 takes the lead. We're going to see that change around quite a lot, I feel. But this is absolutely chaos. And just want to point out tyre strategy. Everyone on the soft except Ricky 3 who decided, yeah, I want the medium tyre.
And also decided I'm having the lead of this race. Scuderia Ferrari lead at the Red Bull Ring. The one who just tried to be brave and bold again. It's 3 wide between a V-Carb and 2 other cars. Concept 7 does make it work this time. Holds on to P11. Look at this though, from the very back of the grid. Tiamat, Marduk and GB up to 13th and 14th place already. Briefly running side by side as Ben looks for the move on Concept 7, but that just opens it up onto GB as we get some lovely high revs throttling for your ears, ladies and gentlemen. Towards the penultimate corner, the Rint curve. A corner of champions. One champion trying to move around the outside. Tiamat Marduk does just that. It's a delightful little move. Ricky leads at the end of lap number 2. Tom 97 and Lolin over 2 and 3. Alex and Ryan L83 has regained some of his mojo. McLaren man is in P5 and looks to have some decent pace round here.
Yeah, he certainly does. Yeah, just to confirm, Adam Sanderson and Grid Jokes looks like they've dropped the most places. Dropped 10 places for Adam Sanderson down into P22, 4 seconds off the rest of the pack. But another dive up into turn 3 between the Aston Martin and the Alpine of Dagai Vince and GB. GB and Ben having a little bit of fun here, trying to get themselves through the field. And will he find a way round the outside of turn 4? It'll be brave or bold. We've seen moves go round wrong around this corner, but GB doesn't have the exact acceleration he needed. But it looks like Ben running a bit low on battery there because he definitely was a bit slower coming out of that corner.
Absolutely. I think the other McLaren as well, Ryan L83, tried to make a move on Alex Gillen. Hence why they're just dropping off the back. That could compromise the battery. Kareem sniffs an opportunity. Gonna have to play it patient. See, not much battery to deploy, lifting off hugely before the final corner to have any sort of electrical boost onto lap number 4 of this race as Tom 97 retakes the lead with the assistance of overtake mode. Cadillac driver, the pole sitter, moves back to the top of the tree. It was Adam Sanderson that had the yellow flag earlier. I've heard that Scott Taylor is apparently absolutely sprinting down the street. There's some raucous cheering happening as Kareem 17 moves on through. He was threatening to make it happen. The premonition was set and it's happened. GB goes through as well. So 2 McLarens lose places at the exact same corner, but Ben will keep on fighting.
Yeah, he certainly will. These two go wheel to wheel down the back straight towards turn 4, and both of them are going to break later than the other. They still do not want to give up this fight. These two enjoying themselves on this afternoon here at Spielberg. But down the inside goes Ben into turn 6 on Fimex. Where's he pulled that move from? You don't make moves into that corner, but clearly Theo Marduk fancied it here this afternoon. He's only lap 4, and we must have seen at least 10 or 15 overtakes here this afternoon.
Yeah, unbelievable psychological boost for Tiamat Marduk. I was just chuckling because they both, him and GB, both lifted and coasted at the exact same time at the exact same corner. Just, you know, friendly, neighbourly battery saving. Absolutely fantastic. You might be wondering why the revs are going absolutely into oblivion at all times. Well, it's because, remember 1993? Williams tested a CVT, infinite gear ratios, but it did mean they screamed quite a lot. That does mean, therefore, we get some raucous noise, but it is quick. Tom 97 gets a scintillating switchback on Ricky 03, who tried to regain P1, and he's going to try again into Schloss Gold. Try and up his investment, and he does up the investment. Big battery burn, and back into P1 he goes. Still the top 8, separated by less than a second. And to highlight Hayden Gullis, who he's had a bit of a what's the word I'm looking for? A revitalisation with these 2026 regs. He is right on it.
Yeah, he certainly is in that lovely new Red Bull livery. Definitely new. It looks slightly different than the one we've had in the last 10 years. But Hayden Gullis looking great in this Red Bull here. Currently in P8 behind. Almost the surprise pole sitter Ryan L83, who's had not the best start here this afternoon, dropped down to P7. Currently fighting with Meraki, Kareem, Alex Gillen. They're all very concertinating up. But there's a little bit of a gap forming in behind. Tukey seems to be the cork in the bottle between the top 9 and the rest of the field, as we see Meraki go for this move here on Lolinoba. Alex Gillen also going for an overtake at the same time, moving himself up into 3rd place, and Kareem now trying to move himself up to 6th place. It's all through this deployment zone. This is where they want to use their active aero and get the most out of their cars, but they're trying to be pushing to the edge of the corner, but they can't make it stick as Kareem moves up into 6th place, and it looks like Hayden Gullis is going to take full advantage of that situation, trying to go around the outside of turn 6, but backs off smartly for this lap.
Ryan reboosts to regain the position on Kareem. It's so interesting to see the difference in battery deployment. GB is already up to P9. Everyone be scared. That is a rapid recovery, and Tiamat Marduk's going to pinch the place off Tukey as well before too long, given the form that both he and the Aston Martin driver have been on. And yes, indeed, up into the top 10 goes the race winner at Monaco, the first round with the 2026 cars in Creator Series, and having an absolutely astonishing drive at the moment. Hayden Gullis piling on pressure on Kareem 70. You flip back 1 year in the game cycle, you go, absolutely not, sunshine. Think again, lean forwards in your chairs, because all the action is happening with the Red Bull driver at the Red Bull ring, up to P7, as Alex Gillen sets his sights on the top 2.
Yeah, you can't have a Grand Prix race in the Creator Series without Alex Gillen threatening the front 2 with a good time as he moves himself towards that top step of the podium. But that Hayden Gullis here, definitely the surprise of the Creator Series season so far, really pushing Ryan L83, who's not got the grip just yet of this Grand Prix in race form. He had it in qualifying a solid P3, down in P6 at the moment, which is still a fantastic result for him. We are only 7 laps in, so this 71 lap Grand Prix, yes, it's a short lap around here, but 71 laps of constant straights and corners is not the easiest thing to do, especially in these sort of modern Formula One cars, as we see the top three all within a second of each other and all having use of that active aero, which of course we now have instead of DRS this year.
Indeed, and you can see it open right there. Oh, wait, no, you can't. I'm sorry. Oh, no, actually, you can. That's something they fixed. Thank you very much. Through turn number 3, it's a generational day, this is. Active aero opens up. Look at it in all its glory in race trim. You thought you'd never see the day. Correction, you are. There's the CVT. I'm glad Tom97 got the message. Ricky 03 defends diligently, but again, the Red Bull of Hayden Gullis is going to attack. Give the Red Bull home crowd something to cheer about. Was P7, make the investment even greater. P6 for Hayden Gullis, who's looking to try and replicate, nay, improve on the result he had at the Madrid. This is a scintillating show.
It certainly is. And is there an outside chance of a podium finish here for Hayden Gullis? I wouldn't discount it at the moment because he is flying on this set of soft tyres. But these soft tyres are going to be struggling in the next few laps. We've already seen a pit stop there for Concept 7. I believe that was for wing damage. We'll have our man in Clipbook Corner double check that for us, but he's down into 15th place. He's put on those medium tyres, so he's hoping, I'm sure, for a safety car a little later in the race. You see the light flashing on the back of Ricky 03's car there, already saving battery going in to that braking zone. And Tom97 going for it into turn 3, making it stick into the active aero. Alex Dillon just waiting to pounce like a tiger onto his prey.
It's absolutely, like you say, don't tempt Alex Gillen with a good time because he will gloriously gobble it up. Tom and Ricky still battling it out. More to just defend from Alex Gillen, I assume. Just make their cars as wide as possible because Alex, in race pace, clearly has some kind of advantage, some intel. He did retire early from qualifying, but that was probably to save some tyres. All 3 dry compounds need to be used. Concept's already used 2 of them, but he has been a bit in the wars so far this race. Coming up to the end of lap number 9 and already onto lap number 10. Depending on your perspective, you'll think, wow, that race has gone quickly. Or if you're us in the commentary box, you'll go, oh God, it's sweaty. We're going to have to keep doing 60 laps of this. Well, guess what? Let it rain in. This is glorious battling as Concept makes a mistake. Out of Schlossgold, the yellow flag at the bottom right of your picture. Out of turn number 4. He carries on his merry way, though. Towards turn number 3, Alex Gillen burns the battery. Goes for it on our pole sitter here in Austria. Alex Gillen moves up into second place. And now it's just one car between himself and the very front of the field.
But will Tom97 have a chance at going back at him? But I don't think he saved his battery well enough for that moment. The other big move on that lap, Hayden Gullis into the top 5, ladies and gentlemen. Do not adjust your TV sets. He is really pushing now for that top 4. I was about to mention Meraki was dropping off that top 4 pack. But Hayden Gullis clearly saw that happening and thought, no, I'm going to make this move now because I need to stick with that pack. Of course, like we've seen with DRS, you've got to be in 1 second to use that active aero. But Hayden Gullis getting back within that 1 second margin. The other person getting in that 1 second margin is GB. I mentioned a few laps ago they were 3 seconds off the pack. Now 1.5 seconds off that pack. GB and Ben definitely not out of this race at all just yet.
Not at all. Consistently 4 tenths, half a second quicker than the cars ahead of them. The battle for P5 downwards as now that margin compresses again. Scotty Designs, by the way, is into the pit lane. Raucous pit limiter. Never do that again, please. Through to the front of the field. Alex Gillen has the extra boost, the overtake mode. More ability to harvest the battery. Towards Ricky 03 he will go, but he's just saving the tyres. He's biding his time. Ricky 03, the ascendancy will fall to those medium tyres. And now it's a case of trying to extract as much potential from the softs as possible. We've seen a few drivers box onto new tyres. Fimex also boxing onto medium tyres after only 9 laps on the soft compound tyres. But it's how long can they wait on those softs? They're going to try and gatekeep as much as they can, not to lose out if there is a safety car. But luck can only play its cards so handsomely in your favour here.
Yeah, it really can. And I mean, these tyres are not going to be enjoying these next few laps. The interesting thing here is we've got to think about this strategy, is what is Ricky going to do? Obviously, he started on those medium tyres. And if I'm not mistaken, you said they have to use all 3 tyre compounds. Is that correct?
Correct, yes, absolutely correct, yeah.
What is Ricky going to do? Is he going to go to the hards and then to the softs, or is he going to go soft and then to hard? We're going to have to find out a little bit later on. The guys on the soft tyres obviously have a little bit of an easier time. GB, on the other hand, seems to be taking the scenic route through turn 1 there, but luckily made himself nice and easy into turn 3 now.
Yeah, GB taking the 2003 line at turn number 1, which is absolutely disgraceful. If you know, you know. Hayden Gullis again drops off the top 4. It means Meraki, Kareem 70, and a smattering of others, the only smattering being Ryan 83, has the advantage of that overtake mode. You've also got GB perilously close to breaching the 1 second margin, and then even more cars will be brought into the fray. Lap number 12, and if I was to play devil's advocate in terms of strategy for Ricky 03, who is now constantly gaining on those tyres, the mediums coming into a realm of their own, I would assume he'll go hards on the middle stint to save the softer tyres for the end of the race. You want to count on a late safety car, so then you have the best tyres in the business to go full flow. Lolin Ober peels into the pit lane, the first of the top 4 to pull the pit lane trigger onto lap 13. He says the softs, your day is done.
And that is going to be very interesting for all these drivers to work out how Lolino's pace improves on whatever tyre he chooses to go on next. This could really change up the race. Goes for medium tyres. Well, that confirms what we suspected, a medium hard Grand Prix. As we see Hayden Gullis still defending from Meraki. I think Hayden has used a lot of his tyres up and a lot of his battery trying to close that gap. And I think it's cost him quite big here because he's got a lot of cars that are very hungry for his P4 position, who would say they might have the extra pace right now.
Absolutely, yeah. Meraki, the first on the scene to try and dispose P4 now in this case off of the Red Bull driver. Lolly got into some glorious, crisp, clean air in P16, can get the tyres into the window with no problems in terms of battling. Great news for the Cadillac driver, the other Cadillac in P3. This Mercedes man in Meraki, hunkering down into the slipstream. Hayden using all of the track on the outside, carry as much momentum as possible. Meraki, though, says enough is enough. Not content with being held up behind the traffic, the Red Bull in particular is going to go for an undercut onto those tyres, which we have seen is pretty powerful in these regulations.
And you've got to expect Hayden Gullis will pull the trigger to match Meraki's pit stop there. He does not want to get caught behind a car that he was, in the earlier stint, faster than. So he want to get those new tyres on and probably go for the medium, but also he doesn't want to let Kareem past him and lose out on that pit lane advantage. So he's going to use his battery here to defend against Kareem. But here comes Kareem. He might not be able to do anything about it, but closes the door very aggressively indeed from Hayden Gullis. He's looking good for this top 4 position, but he's going to need to make a good pit stop decision in the next lap or 2, as we're going to see Meraki start coming through the field on those medium tyres. But at the front, it is still Ricky 03 almost pulling a second out on Alex Gillen. Those soft tyres starting to see their end, as Meraki already making up 1 position on his opening lap on those medium tyres. Let's see what the pit lane is calling. And is it calling Hayden Gullis' name? No! He decides it's not his time yet for a pit stop. Ryan L83 says it's his time. But that is surprising. You've been surprised by that?
I'm a little bit, to be honest with you. You'd think they'd react, but it is the Creator Series. Anything can happen, and it usually does. Ryan L83 actually at the back of that train pits, because not only was it to probably not hold up his teammate, who was within a second, but also because GB and co have the overtake mode now. He's done his work, and now those two who started at the very back of the grid can get to work. Lolin Ober, fastest lap of the race, a 7.119. Pace is absolutely electric, a second quicker than those at the very front of the field. It'd be very unfortunate if there was a safety car now. Okay, I was hopeful. Lap number 15, Ricky 03 leads Alex Gillen, who to his credit is remaining in that overtake zone, and that probably is purely down to that battery management. Ricky could extract more out of those medium tyres and just thump on away, but Alex, being smart with the overtake and the battery, has stayed within that margin to Ricky, but also dropped Tom 97 out of range.
It certainly is very interesting. A tactical masterclass going on between a lot of the drivers. Alex Gillen does decide it is time to pit. One of our men in Clipboard Corner was saying that Alex Gillen was going down to 0% on every single straight of his battery. So he was really using it to the absolute limit. Hayden Gullis still not choosing to go for a pit. I imagine he wants to get the better tyre life going on, as he's right behind Kareem, who managed to take him for third place on the track, I should say, as Hayden completely messes up my speech by taking back third place. Thanks for that, Hayden. Meraki up into 9th place now. He's really flying on these medium tyres, so I imagine when we do eventually get a pit stop, we are going to see Meraki take over Hayden Gullis. But there is Concept 7 with the first time limits penalty. It's pretty common around Austria to get some time 5-minute penalties, so I'm not surprised. Well, it's surprised it's taken us this long, but Concept 7 picking up the first one.
Exactly, yeah, and, well, like you say, no real surprise. It will have been out of that final corner, the last corner that was briefly talked about and mentioned in qualifying. Track limit's a bit frisky. If you cut the inside too much, you absolutely get smacked down with a warning or a penalty. Outside line, a little bit more precarious, but it can lend itself badly in the eyes of the stewards. Kareem 17 pursuing the spoil sport that is Hayden Gullis, who is still gatekeeping P3. A brilliant drive, all things considered, for the Red Bull man, as Tiamat Marduk in the second McLaren peels into the pit lane, the second of which to actually peel into the pits, by the way. Fresh set of medium compound tyres. Alex went on to hard tyres. Interesting little call, but it's probably what I would go for. Use that hard tyre in the middle stint, and then you have all the softer compounds available to you to properly put down the pace.
Yeah, I think it seems like the smart decision, as we're going to see Alex Gillen just come out ahead of Meraki there by literally less than 0.3 of a second. That certainly was very close from him. It's going to take him a few laps to get those tyres warmed up, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see Meraki make that move past him. But for the rest of the field, the top 6 still yet to pit in this Grand Prix. Ricky 03 on those medium tyres, the rest of them on the soft. Hayden Gullis holding it out nicely. But obviously Kareem 7T doing very well indeed. And Tom 97, a man we haven't really spoken about a lot this Grand Prix, mostly because he's just been very solid.
Hayden Gullis taking the correct, almost going over the white line, but he does take the correct and proper line into the pit lane, finally relinquishes P3, peels into pit row. A scintillating first stint from the Red Bull driver. Same can sort of be said for Tom 97, did lose touch a little bit to Ricky and Alex, but has left it a little bit longer, giving himself more of an opportunity on some slightly fresher tyres, but he does have that gap to make up. That means Ricky 03, the Italian stallion in the Italian machine, leads by 6.5 seconds to Kareem 17. Medium tyres for the first tyre. An inspired call, you must say, as GB's looking to take P2, and he absolutely has off Kareem 17. From the back of the grid, already to second place, and it's only a quarter of the way through this race.
Yeah, only lap 18 of 71. Ricky 03 making that medium tyre call has certainly worked out very well for him indeed. Emphatic now pushing up on Tukey. And Hayden Gullis coming out in 11th place. That means he's had Ben come out in front of him, Tom 97, Ryan L83, Meraki, Gillen, and Gillen up into that position. I mean, Hayden Gullis has got a lot of work to do in that Red Bull, but I believe he is on the medium tyre. He is very quick in these conditions, and obviously he's got a lovely engine rev there as GB pulls into the pits. And a 10-second time penalty. I could see that coming from a mile off. GB with a 10-second penalty that is going to cost him big later in the race.
Oh, pit lane plummeting for GB. It's a devastating scenario. Who'll go onto the hard compound tyres. Tiamat Marduk, no real surprise, has phenomenal pace. New tyres, 1 minute 6.797. Don't you all dare. But he is P8, and he's within a second of Tom 97, who is on slightly newer tyres, but also of his teammate Ryan L83. Will McLaren orchestrate something? It's the Creator Series. Your guess is as good as mine. Only 2, in fact 3 drivers in the whole field yet to pit in this race at the moment to get onto their second set of dry compound. Adam Sanderson being one of them, who's in P14, but then the top 2, Ricky 03 and Kareem 7T, yet to stop. Lolly has the provisional lead of this race, but was the very first to pull the trigger. So we'll see how this compresses. Strategy is going to play a big part here.
Yeah, it certainly is. 2026, all about the strategic game, not only in strategy on the tyres, but also in your battery use and where you're going to use it. Kareem finally pulling into the pits to get rid of those soft tyres, slowing down just about there. Looks like he was more on the grass than in the pit lane entry when we cut over to him. But right now, it is looking like Ricky 03's race, but it's still a long, long way to go. Only lap 20 of 71. Everyone, apart from our race leader and Adam Sanders, have made their pit stop. So why don't we throw it over to Clipbook Corner? I believe they have a few clips to show us.
I indeed do. And first and foremost, going to take a quick look at lap 2. Going in towards turn 1. This is Gwatz we're on board with. Going a little bit too late on the brakes. Taps the back of Gwatz. A little bit of lag, I think, inducing that spin as well. Spinning him around. We can quickly watch from Grid Joke's POV as well. Got Vince just in front, but yeah, nothing really that the Grid Jokes could have done here. Just gets a tap from behind and the car goes round. And as you did notice as well, I believe, on the opening lap, Mr. Sanderson also getting caught up in this incident, looks to the inside and actually just drops it on his own, to be honest. Everyone able to avoid him just about. But yeah, his own mistake and dropping him down to the back of the field. We've also got this spin here, Concept 7, heading down towards turn number 4. This was just after his pit stop as well. A little bit frustrated, I think. Just tries to go full force a little bit too early, and the car goes round as a result. And then the last one, which I've just picked up now, was GB's pit entry. I was going to have a quick look and see if we could catch the speed that he spared, but we'll just quickly watch first and foremost, see what happens. He actually goes onto the boost button going in, which might have made the difference. And I've already got it ready. A slow mode just before. At this point, we're at 96 kilometers an hour. I try and jump it forward a couple frames. We're on the front wing's out the line. We're at 91, 87 here, and we're alongside the marker board. He's definitely a good 5 or so kilometers over.
Super slick work from our man in Clipbook Corner. Thank you very much, Josh. Amazing insight. Lap number 21. News is that Tom97 now has the fastest lap. Meraki is right on the back of Alex Gillen still, so there are plenty of battles to go. Lolinover still has a 2.4 seconds worth of margin over the Haas driver. Ricky 03 still putting down some decent pace. He's just now dipped out of the 1 minute 8, so 1 minute 9.0 on that last lap, and is about losing just under or over a second a lap to Lolinova. Some laps it's as less as half a second. So Ricky 03 putting in a superb stint in the Ferrari car. Towards the back of the field, though, we've got some more glorious battles. Chappers F1 and Concept 7 with the experimental aerodynamics package on the V-carb. I mean, look at it. It's absolutely ridiculous. How does he get that much speed? He doesn't, because he goes wide at turn 9. That's exactly what I predicted. If you don't have a front nose, how on earth are you going to turn? Lap 22 for those guys is beginning now, and Concept and Chappers are going to have a really good scrap. Down the inside goes the RB. Oh, no. It was predictable. Concept's in the wall, and we have a safety car.
We certainly do have a safety car there as Concept 7 goes slamming into the wall. That collapsed faster than Scotland's run in the World Cup this year. But Concept 7, yeah, currently causing that safety car, which is going to give an absolute pleasure of a pit stop from Ricky 03, who jumps into the pit lane and couldn't have been hoping for much more, as he was right around the corner as that safety car came out. And I imagine he's going onto the hard tyres, so he wants a soft set of tyre run for his final set of laps going into this. But also Lonnie Nova coming into the pits as well, so he's going on to, I imagine, the hard tyres. So all of our medium runners, most of them will be choosing the hard tyres.
Well, Ricky 03, ladies and gentlemen, might have just played an absolute blinder. Ferrari driver. He's no stranger to the podium in Creator Series. He has visited it 1 or 2 times in the F1 side of things. He's never visited the top step. Could today be the day that we see absolute scenes in Spielberg? He sits P3 at the moment. Alex Gillen in P1 with Meraki in 2nd place. And we're just going to give you a quick rule clarification because Concept 7 did absolutely sledgehammer it into barrier. Well, the following is this. You can only cause safety cars if you also DNF on the track. So technically speaking, the RB driver should slap himself out of the race. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, rules are there as written. He did try and take himself out, but as we know, ladies and gentlemen, rules are also there to be broken.
When you try your best and you don't succeed moment from Concept 7 as he enters the pit lane for the 7 millionth time. This is only his 2nd time, but he's onto hard tyres, so it's not all bad for the RB driver. And this is the running order in the top 10. Tom97 also boxed, which means we have a bit of a switched up running order. Alex Gillen leads. He's on 8-lap-old hard compound tyres with Meraki 10-lap-old mediums in P2. Ricky 03 just boxed in P3. Ryan L83 in P4. Hayden Gullis in 5th with Kareem 70. Lolin Ober, who's boxed. Then in Fratic and Tugi, who are yet to box onto another new set of tyres. They've ran the softs and the hards so far. Tom97 has completed his tyre strategy as well. So both Cadillacs completing the tyre strategy. Tiamat Marduk has also completed his tyre strategy. So now it really does open up all of the possibilities for them.
Yeah, it really does. This is going to be a very interesting Grand Prix now. Of course, Ricky 03 with those hard tyres on. He's still got one more pit stop to make which will go onto the soft tyres. But he is going to be rapid in that final stint. He was rapid on the medium tyres. I imagine he's going to be rapid on the hards. But yeah, he's going to be super fast on those softs when we get to them eventually. But that is a long, long way away. We're only on lap 24 of 71. But this is the looking at the moment, obviously hard tyres for a lot of our guys at the front of the grid, mediums for a few of our drivers. But Hayden Gullis finds himself back into the top 5 here. If anyone had a Hayden Gullis podium on their bingo card, I wouldn't be too sure. Maybe you're going to write it off at the end of this Grand Prix. Well, we're going to find out, because he had a lot of pace on those soft tyres.
Oh, Hayden Gullis win on my bingo card. Could that happen? I've got another one to cross off, but who knows? It could be today, it could be another day. With the form he's been showing so far, don't rule anything out. We are a third of the way through this race, if my math serves me correctly. So we are going on very strong indeed. It is our first safety car, and as our man in Clipbook Corner, Josh Richards, says, it's the important thing is that Concept's intention was to end his race, and that was the intention. So we shall, you know what, we shall take it into account. As Safso and Scotty are battling on the safety car, nay, because Scotty is going back into the box. And the reason for that is inconclusive, but I think he might well have another set of hard tyres. That is my only guess as to why he is boxed, to open up his strategic possibilities in case there is apparently no safety car towards the end of this race. Well, Alex, we've seen battles up and down the field. It's been a brilliant Austrian Grand Prix so far. But who's in the best position at the moment? You have to say Ricky, with the way things stand at the moment, with the safety car, with the age of his tyres, he's in a great place. But then you've got those that have ticked off the strategy. So who do you think has got a really, really good chance here as we're on lap 25?
Oh, I mean, Ricky was just so pure on that pace when we were watching him on those medium tyres. It was a masterful call to go onto the mediums at the start of the Grand Prix, get them out of the way, and then get onto a set of hard tyres. I think, honestly, Ricky is in a really, really good spot. But as you said, there's a few drivers that have done their two-stop strategies, gone on to what not only the medium but also the hards and the soft tyre. So lap 25, the safety car is in this lap. Alex Gillen does lead us, but he's still yet to do all of his pit stops that he needs. So we're going to find this out, but I'm very much looking forward to the rest of this Grand Prix.
As am I. We hope you all are as well. Thank you everyone that's tuned in. Keep on putting the following in the chat, whether you're watching on Twitch or YouTube. Who are you rooting for? Who do you think's going to take top honours here in Austria? As we go back to green flag racing, Alex Gillen will control the pace of the field as we head to Clipbook on Monday. Someone will go, oh, safety car speed or something like that. Alex Gillen through the final corner, still won't pull the trigger, leaves it to the last possible moment, and we are back racing here in Austria. Ryan tried to pick the punch on Mr. Ricky 03, couldn't do it though. Pulled the trigger too early, and it's opened up Hayden Gullis to go through to P4. Good restart for both Alex Gillen and Meraki. Ricky holds P3, and again, the moves will continue to manifest up and down the field. Tom's already up a place. Lolinova is already up a place, but Ryan's going to fight this one to the bitter, bitter end to stop the Cadillac from getting away. Remember, his teammate has also completed the exact same strategy, and then there will be fireworks. Make no mistake, Ryan gets ahead of Lolinova, who jinks to the inside aggressively to try and make it through. The pressure is piled on. It paid off because Ryan has visited the grapple trap. Ben makes his way through on Fabio, and now he's got the Cadillac in his crosshairs.
Oh, Ryan, that was a big lock-up, and you just couldn't slow it down for that corner. Cold tyres, maybe the distraction from the inside could have been what caused it. But yeah, big lock-up for Ryan. He falls down to 19th place. Going to need some pace now to get himself back up into that top 10. But at the front of the field, Alex Gillen still leads from Meraki, from Ricky 03. Ricky 03 is sticking to them like glue at the moment. He's not want to let them get away. Tom 97, on the other hand, is moving through the gears, moving through the positions, and he moves up into P8, a place behind his teammate Lolinova in the other Cadillac, with Tia Marduk in the middle. It's a Cadillac sandwich with a McLaren filling. As we see Ricky 03 move past Meraki into the top 2. As we see a little front wing fly off there. Not sure exactly whose it was, but that is going to cause big problems aerodynamically for these 2026 cars.
We do. Lolinova's very, very close to Hayden Gullis. Did he get damaged? Doesn't look like it. End plates look absolutely fine. Trying to see it from the helicopter shot. You can't quite tell. I'm sure our man in Clipboard Corner might be able to find out the answers. Hayden's front wing has a full complement in P5 at the moment, and Ricky 03 is threatening for the lead. Significantly fresher tyres, 7-lap fresher hard compound tyres on the Ferrari car, and it's only a matter of when, not if, Ricky 03 blazes on past the Haas driver. Lolinova did get Hayden Gullis in the end, and now it's a Red Bull and McLaren in this mighty meaty American sandwich. I'm not going to finish that quote. Through lap number 28 we go. Alex Gillen, P1. Ricky 03 with the overtake available. And surely it's only a matter of time for the concourse in Maranello. Ricky 03 flying the Italian flag so proudly, and he gets closer and closer. The confidence through turn number 3. Surely he's going to pick it out, Alex.
He certainly did, though confidence on that break was absolutely insane. He has no fear on the man in front of him, and Alex Gillen looks to be taking that second place and been given it, but he's still fighting back to Ricky 03. Ricky 03 not letting him get in front at the moment. Ricky 03 really struggling to get past him, but he does not have any fear of Alex Gillen at the moment. He wants that position, and at the moment it looks like Alex Gillen is powerless to defend, apart from a few late moves to the inside. But I'm sure it's only a matter of time when we see that Ferrari take the lead once again.
Yes, sir. Lap number 29. Haas leads. Ferrari second. Mercedes third. Kareem is in fourth place. Lolly still in fifth, waiting for an opportunity. Tuki and Infratic having a great battle. He's P10 now in the Red Bull car. Could have been Fabio with damage. That's my only guess, given his run of luck sometimes in Creator Series. But no, it looks like the end plates are absolutely fine. Could be superficial damage. There was a carbon fiber confetti absolutely erupting because F125 likes to do it. GB goes through, but importantly as well, Ricky 03 takes the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix on those newer tyres, like we both said. A matter of time, and time has been visited. Ricky 03 has the top of the tree in his control. Meraki against Kareem 70. The Audi driver wanting to make a move in the Audi car, as Tiamat Marduk is in P7 and firmly nestled under the diffuser and the slipstream of the Red Bull ahead. Is he going to dare to burn up towards the penultimate corner? We've seen a couple of drivers do that. You saw the red light blinking just as the camera flipped over, and he will be saving up until lap number 30. If you are Ryan L83 who has dropped down, don't write anything off. There is still plenty of time to make things happen. There's still over 40 tours. Then Tiamat Marduk's just gone past Hayden Gullis into turn number 1. Overtakes galore here in the Styrian Hills.
Hayden seems to be struggling a little bit. Maybe he's on these medium tyres, or maybe he's just saving his battery for later on in the Grand Prix. So we see Kareem battling with Meraki for third and fourth position respectively. Is going very well indeed for the Mercedes and the Audi driver as they look to get themselves back up into that top two. It's down the inside, goes Lolinova late on the brakes. Will he make it stick? And you know what? The Cadillac driver has. Brilliant move indeed from the Cadillac driver as Hayden Gullis closing in once again on Tiamat Marduk. But Lolinova, he certainly is on it today.
Reigning champion on the rampage. Has a score to settle after the second Spanish visit, after both Spanish siestas for that matter. Definitely did not work out in Barcelona. A lot of you will know why. Madrid, wrong place, wrong time in so many circumstances. Today, looking to put that right. Alex losing touch with Ricky 03, a second and a half almost, is the margin. Kareem has newer, medium compound tyres. That's only going to extrapolate the advantage even more. Tom 97 goes through now to curtail what was a great statistic that someone in Twitch chat put. It was 7 different teams in the top 7. Hayden's trying to put that statistic back, but Kareem 70 goes down the inside. An academic move, realistically. Z moves on to P2 with those mediums. Tiamat Marduk on the fresh hards, moves past Meraki. Those on the new tyres are on the rampage.
Yeah, from Clipboard Corner, no one has damage, so it must have been superficial damage we saw on our eyes, unless both of us are just going completely blind. It could be a possibility. We've been watching F1 cars longer than we can remember. But Hayden Gullis dropping down into 8th place. He's certainly struggling on this stint of the Grand Prix, not up in the heights of P5. They are really struggling to find that pace again. Lolinova is in P4 at the moment, and he's pressure rising Alex Gillen. And Kareem up in 7th place, second place, I should say, in the Audi, only 4/10 behind Riccio 3, who has looked monstrous in this Grand Prix. As Hayden Gullis having to defend that 7th place from a rampant Meraki, who's just behind him.
Top 10 all within a second of one another as well. This is tantalisingly close racing. Absolutely brilliant here in Austria. Lolly looked to try and dangle the carrot of the dive bomb towards Alex Gillen. That could open it up for Tim Marduk, who doesn't get the best exit. Meraki now against that guy Vince towards turn number 3. The Alpine's failed overtaking attempt. Opens the door for the lean green machine. GB, another driver from the back of the grid, moves now back into P9, firmly in the top 10 as Lolly does get through on Alex, trying to run round the outside. Ben's going to try and make it 2 for the price of 1. Enough space left. Great racing between the two of them. It is excellence defined by both Lolly and Tiamat Marduk on those newer tyres. And once it was so nice, try and make it thrice, because Tom 97 makes it triple trouble for Alex Gillen. And the new tyres, it really just depicts the advantage in front of your very eyes. Lolly 3rd, Ben 4th, Tom up to 5th.
Yeah, and you don't see Alex Gillen losing 3 places in 1 lap very often. But there you go, a moment of history for you. But yeah, those new tyres are really working for the drivers that are now in front of Alex Gillen. Alex Gillen struggling in his Haas car. There is Tim Marduk moving up into the top 3, solid at the back of the grid. He is now into the podium places. Obviously 33 laps on the board out of 71 to go. But Tim Marduk 3rd place and challenging now for the top 2 positions. But beautiful racing between the drivers. As GB is now trying to make his own charge up to the podium as he's trying to get past Hayden Gullis, who's currently struggling down in 7th place, holding off the Aston Martin behind him.
Not nearly struggling as much as Alex Gillen, though. 18 lap-old hard compound tyres, a lot of drivers behind, including these two on the helicopter shot. That's a delightful camera angle as well. GB and Hayden Gullis on newer tyres, in some cases softer tyres as well. And they're getting themselves very interested in the heat of battle against Alex Gillen. Lap number 34 now. Ricky leads by 0.8 of a second over Kareem, who despite he has only got a 3 laps order on his tyres, but he does have some phenomenal pace. Tiamat Marduk remains within a second, Lolly within a second. Bitter battles between those two, but they know if they're going to make their way, the ascension to the top of the order, they've got to be patient. They can't afford to go full-out warfare just yet.
Not just yet, but Carl, is this proving us to how, not rigid those hard tyres are? Alex Gillen, only, 18 laps on those hard tyres? And they seem to be struggling in the Austrian heat, as we got another lock-up there. That was, I think, from Alex Gillen in front, really not liking this set of hard tyres. And are we going to see the same from the likes of, Riccio 3, who's up on those hard tyres at the moment, who is going to go to the softs, but he's got to go at least another 20 laps or so before he can even think about where he's going to get his pit stop for the soft tyres.
For sure. I mean, there's a definite chance that there will be another safety car in this race. It's Creator Series. It's almost a given, a compulsory measure, if you like. We're nearly halfway through this race. And, well, if there is no more safety cars, it really does hurt the likes of Ricky and Kareem, because they do have to stop again. Tiamat Marduk, both Cadillacs, they do not have to stop. We do have a yellow flag. Grid Jokes is out, sives it into the wall, and unbelievably, it's not a safety car.
That was surprising. Yeah, no double arrows in that final corner. It's fine to go fully flat there. We learned that the hard way this afternoon. We have our man in Clipbook Corner telling us that he doesn't think it's the hard tyres. It's the issue for Alex Gillen. We'll check back in when he's got some clips to show us, because I'd be very interested to see his statistics on that one. As we see the two Cadillacs going wheel to wheel here in turn 4, going into turn 5, as Tom 97 is now ahead of Lolly Noba. As my Clipbook Corner being sarcastic there, telling me that his statistics are saying that Ricky is leading. I mean, that is correct. I can't dispute that.
Statistics are also saying sky is blue, track is dry, among many other statistics that we could list off. Onward with Tukey, who's in a little bit of a train. Fimex leads the battle for P11. Safso, a race winner here at the Austrian Grand Prix in season number 1, now robed in the red of Ferrari, looking to usurp the blue blur for what will be near the outskirts of the top 10, but they are losing constant touch to the likes of that guy Vince and Meraki, who themselves are losing touch to the top 8. Kareem firmly nestled into the slipstream. Maximum slipstream up towards turn number 3. Will a dive present itself? No, it will not, excuse me, as GB goes through on Alex Gillen. Again, another matter of time. I think Alex just does not like these hard compound tyres. Clearly had great pace on the older soft compound tyres, but the hard tyres just aren't his cup of tea. Adam Sanderson tries to make a move, doesn't work, and could lose out yet another place here to Concept 7. Scott Taylor has never been cheering at a higher decibel level. Towards Schloss Gold they go. Adam's going to try and fight this one all the way through. Hards versus mediums on the same age, but Concept delivers the place.
Yeah, certainly not fighting back on that moment. But yeah, Alex Gillen dropping further and further back, now 8/10 off of GB, who, in fairness, is also 8/10 off that top 5 picture. But the Cadillacs right now, Tom 97 and Lloyd Nova, 4th and 5th on the road. They look like, as a team, in the best position possible. I believe they have both finished their tyre compounds for the Grand Prix, which means Tio Marduk, Kareem and Ricky 03 have got some big challenges coming their way in the next few laps.
That they do. Even more interesting, Alex Gillen's lost overtake mode. Lost it, and Hayden Gullis is going to have another place for the pickings for Jean-Marie Galestra, our resident dictator. It's probably not the title he would have wanted, but with a name like that, listen, I can only do so much. Over halfway, past the fulcrum point of this race, Ricky still holds firm out in front. Kareem is piling on the pressure. Ben himself piling on the pressure and making the move down the inside for the McLaren Maestro. And through he goes into P2. He said it last week. It's a track he loves. It's a track he goes well at. And he's proving it again today. Now just has one car between himself and the lead. And that could be super important. The Cadillacs aren't really making an impression on the 2 cars ahead. So if Ben can get up the road and make the gap, then who knows what realm of possibilities could be opened up, as Hayden Gullis perilously close to prizing a place away from Alex Gillen, who really is not liking the hard tyres here.
He certainly isn't. 2 seconds off the back of GB. Yes, don't adjust your audio. 2 seconds. Alex Gillen is off the leading pack. And it looks like Hayden Gullis is going to go for an overtake. Again, if you had said that last season, you would have laughed in my face. But right now, we're hearing from our Clipbook Corner that Alex this year is a combination of older tyres and not being able to manage the battery due to a lack of pace from old tyres. It's good analysis from Clipbook Corner there, as we see the Cadillacs once again go wheel to wheel. As Laurie Nova says, it's my turn to be in P4. Mum said it was my turn to be up in the P4.
Yeah, but the thing, all the while they try and overtake each other, they're just losing out to the likes of Kareem, and especially this man, the Australian sensation, hunkering down into the slipstream of the Scuderia Ferrari up ahead. Could well try and make a move in towards it, but does play it patient. Wants the overtake mode going on to lap number 39. Still so much to go. So many stories to fulfill. So many scripts to canter through. And yet all of them have been ripped up, with the likes of Ricky 03 doing as well as he has, with Hayden Gullis again being a thorn in the side to the lead cars up ahead. And then the Titanic tussles, both Cadillacs fighting it out. GB waiting in the wings. Tiamat Marduk, strategy completed, can now try and get the lead of the race. It's all happening here in Austria. We can also confirm no one had damage. It was just carbon fibre confetti, a graphical glitch if you like. It's a good thing that Alex and I are appointed for the use of our vocal cords. Actually, we are appointed for the use of our eyes. That's really poor. Anyway, Safso moves on through. P11, he tries to get it, but we're going to have a 3-wide moment almost towards the next corner. Gwat's getting himself enticed into the art of combat as they head through Schloss Gold corner. Bit of contact between Safso and Fimex, and a snap on the rear end as he tries to plant the power down. It will be 1 and 2 astern towards the left-hander and then into the Verth curve. Fimex again holds the place. Great little battle for P11.
And who said the 2026 regulations were boring overtakes? This is fantastic stuff here at the Austrian Grand Prix. As we see GB once again lining up for a move on that Cadillac. All of the top 6 could have the chance of winning this Grand Prix. What a Grand Prix we are having. Obviously, a little bit of a gap behind, 3 seconds now between Alex Gillen and Hayden Gullis. And there goes Timo Marduk for the lead of the Grand Prix. He jumps ahead of Ricky 03, and the Papaya McLaren makes it into P1. Not only that, Kareem 7T wants that second place. Ricky about to lose maybe 1-2 positions in the matter of 2 corners. Kareem into second place, or is he? Because Ricky is fighting it back round the outside, which turns into the inside line, and he keeps his position. What a battle it is turning out to be for the top 3.
Brilliant stuff, and this is exactly what Ben needed for those two to fight, to have to burn a bit more battery against one another, so then he can save it. Didn't really opt to escape, but then that means the electrical energy falls into his favour. Fimex and Safso still fighting it out, but also Lolinoba trying to go round the outside at the Rin curve. A champion's move with two champions clashing. Lolinoba through to P3. That is a majestic move to take the third place on the road. Does not want to let Ben get away in a hurry. He knows exactly what he's got to do to try and win here in Austria.
Brilliant move that is. That takes some big balls, as a British star once said in Formula 1. As down the inside goes Tom 97 on Kareem, who's now starting to drop back a little bit here. Has he used all his battery up? And is he starting to struggle on his set of tyres? I would mention Hayden Gullis, he's up into P7 as well. And he is ahead of Alex Gillen. And at the moment, he is trying to pull away from him. Yes, you heard that correctly, ladies and gentlemen. Tom 97 pushing once again as he's trying to get in front of Kareem. But GB is now into P4. GB and Ben were last on the grid, 22nd and 21st at the start of this Grand Prix. They are now 4th and 1st, respectively. Brilliant stuff from the Aston Martin and McLaren drivers.
Excellent, excellent battles up and down the field. The standard of racecraft has been superlative. Ben's broke a second. He's broke the overtake mode margin. I don't know if he did that before the blue line after the Rin curve, the penultimate corner. Tom 97 gets through on Kareem 17. His old mediums have fought the farm. Ricky 03, 9/10 of a second behind. Looks like he's got some decent energy to try and catch up to Tiamat Marduk. So not all hope is lost for the Ferrari driver. Ryan L83's road to recovery is going well. He's just got past Watts for P12. It's all falling into McLaren's hands. GB has another Cadillac lined up. He's found a resurgence. He's going to try and pinch another place down the road. Shows the car to the inside, makes it as big as possible, brakes as late as possible, almost pushes Lolinoba through Schlossgold corner. This is an exemplary drive from everyone, though. It's just fantastic racing. Marvellous manoeuvres, particularly in the case of Ben, who just leaves enough space but puts the compromise on enough to make sure those moves are completed. And that's maybe what we're not seeing from some other drivers, that cutthroat approach, particularly on those newer tyres and those that have completed their strategy to get on through. We're highlighting this man GB because he has made 2 stops, but he's been on 2 sets of hards. He's got to box again at some point.
Yeah, he certainly does. He's got to do at least another pit stop here in this Grand Prix, maybe hoping out for that safety car. But as we mentioned, the 2 Cadillacs and Ben don't have to make another pit stop. Ricky 03 still does, but of course, he's got the fastest set of tyres in those soft tyres coming up on his final stint. Any one of these top 5 could still win this. Kareem dropped off a little bit here, 1.3 seconds off the pack. But still not out of the Grand Prix. Hayden Gullis, another 4 seconds behind. As Ryan L83 comeback is looking good, but he gets himself a 3-second time penalty for track limits. Definitely moving himself up into the top 11 there, but 9 seconds the gap between himself and the top 10. You will get a point for being where you are, but it's not going to be the points he hoped for considering his qualifying session.
McLaren restoring the Ferrari supremacy dynamic on themselves. 2 McLarens ahead of 2 Ferraris. Tiamat Marduk leads. Ricky 03 in P2. Lolly closing in to try and make his way through. GB, though, even closer. As we see Alex Gillen, that guy Vince Maracchi, all in a bit of a train now behind Hayden Gullis, which I would say I am surprised at. In fact, I'm not surprised at because he's on 26 lap old mediums. It was always a matter of time before he boxes. And right on cue, Hayden Gullis is into the pit lane. Finally blinks, has to bail out of those mediums. Kareem's going to have to do the same before too long. Still got decent pace at the moment, only a few tenths off the pace of the front runners in P1 through to P5. Has Lolinoba, tries to go on through, deploying the mighty Arancini, but Ricky 03 will pay the same compliments. Battery to burn, through goes the Ferrari driver to try and retake the place. It's going to be 3 wide. GB makes 2 for the price of 1 into Schlossgold, and that was an absolute gem of a move from the green machine. Can anyone form a sort of retaliation in towards the next corner? No. Aston Martin in P2, the 2 that started at the very back of the grid are P1 and P2.
From 22nd and 21st to 1 and 2. Brilliant stuff from the 2 drivers, Ben and GB. First and second, obviously 2 different teams. Obviously Aston Martin and McLaren. And those 2 will be battling it out now. But Ricky 03, remember, still has another pit stop to go. So does GB. So this is not over by a long shot. And those soft tyres will be something Ricky, I'm sure, is looking forward to. It's the Cadillac, once again, of Tom 97, is looking to take another position on the road. And will he move up the inside? He certainly will. Can he make 2 for 1? A double lock up there on the front tyres, but makes it into P3 ahead of his Cadillac teammate. But that's going to cost him big. Or is it? Because Ricky 03 is storming down the inside. Will he go late on the brakes? No, that is too far removed to make. So he stays in P5. But it's moved all over the place for all drivers. Lap 45 of 71. Still a long way to go in this Grand Prix. But it's so interesting here.
Couldn't agree more. I'll go out on a limb. And Alex, feel free to agree or disagree with me on this, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is Creator Series at its very, very best. In terms of the racing that we have seen, in terms of the space that's been left, in terms of the sprinklings of chaos that you get dished out from time to time, it's had it all. Austria does not disappoint. Our drivers certainly haven't either. GB closing in to try and take the race lead. Remember, he does have to box again at some point. Hasn't used his medium tyre token, not just yet. But look at the resilience and, well, revitalisation Tom 97's found. Was down in the doldrums of P6 not but a few laps ago, and now he's pushing GB down the straight towards Remus, as we all say expecto manoeuvres. It's a spell we cast, but it didn't happen. GB's going to try and put that spell right, though, towards Schlossgold Corner. Like the inside line a few laps ago, likes the inside line here as well. Clean cut case manoeuvre from GB to take the lead for the very first time here in Austria in Season 13.
Yeah, he certainly does. Takes the lead in that Aston Martin green. A beautiful colour and a beautiful car. And obviously, if you're an Aston Martin fan in real life, you've not had the best of times in the real world. But right now, maybe a little bit of respite from the real world. So you can see GB leading a Grand Prix at the Spielberg Ring. Beautiful stuff from the Aston Martin driver. Just want to keep an eye on Hayden Gullis for you Hayden Gullis fans out there, which I know there is many. He's currently down in 16th place, but obviously making his last pit stop. There is a lot of drivers in front of him, I believe, still yet to make their own pit stop. So don't count out Hayden Gullis for a good points-paying position. Alex Gillen finally deciding it's time for his pit stop and getting rid of those awful hard tyres that he's run for quite a few laps now.
It was a matter of time before we had to just dish them into the 7th circle of hell. It was about time they did. And now he's on some softer compound tyres. He likes some softer compounds. As through there, that's a view of the Red Bull on the bottom right of your picture. That's Hayden Gullis going through P14. Chappers, there he is, right at the back of your screen. And now in full view is the Red Bull Ford driver, replacing Brasinchai for this particular race, but putting on a phenomenal show, it must be said. GB still holds the lead. Ben in P2, Tom in 3rd, Ricky splitting the two Cadillacs, this Italian filling to an American sandwich. Kareem still stays out though. Feel like he's just trying to gatekeep for this safety car as much as he can to try and save the race. What we don't know, of course, is we know how old the tyres are, but we don't know the percentage of the tyre wear. Much of the top 5 are going to be experiencing the same kind of thing. A lot of them don't have to stop again. So it's a question of, can they run them to the end? Will it retain their pace? Or will those that have to stop again actually have the overall pace on those tyres? We know the tyre wear's less. They can save those softer tyres. It's all questions that we'll have answered, I'm sure.
Yeah, we certainly will. But we've seen how good a new set of tyres. Someone's gone straight on there. Is that Kareem who's just gone straight on there? No, I think it might have been the Ferrari of Ricky 03, because he's dropped himself down to the 5th place. We're going to have to get that into Clipboard Corner. It looked like someone went straight on there in our background.
Yeah, Ricky, you're just misjudging the overspeed. It looked like you saw a car sail off into the red area. We couldn't see who it was because he was camouflaged. That's really rude. Hayden Gullis within a second now of Infratic up ahead on newer tyres. His tyres are 5 laps old, hard compound tyres, which he will no doubt run to the end of the race if there's not a safety car, which there is a certain window where it does close. I believe it's 10 laps off the top of my head for a deliberate safety car. So lap 61 is where we draw the line, and we say it is all-out attack to the end. Tom 97 getting very close to the back of Ben. Hayden Gullis doing much the same on Infratic. It's going to be a scintillating scrap up on the front. It's going to be a very much it's going to be an easy move for Hayden Gullis. It's only a matter of when, not if. He makes his way through the final corner, goes the Red Bull, burn the battery, and predictably he's going to show the nose to the inside and blaze on through. Or will he?
or will he indeed? He's going to make that late move. He's got the tyres to do so. It's certainly a place I wouldn't risk an overtake when you're charging through the field, but Hayden Gullis deciding that it's his moment to make that move. We saw Meraki just come into the pit stop as well. He makes his last stop of the Grand Prix. Hayden Gullis is going to be one to watch in these last few laps. Obviously, he's got a long way to go if he wants to push up into that top 6 positions. Obviously, with a 10-second gap when he gets up to Concept 7. But you never say never. It's a move down the inside. Oh, that was definitely, I'd say, a day late and a dollar short there from Hayden Gullis.
Yeah, to coin the phrase, of course, from the brilliant Martin Brundle, he is optimistic, let's put it that way, but nonetheless, scintillating showing. You gotta go for it. Sprinklings of chaos, outstanding overtakes that can only be done if you put your foot down to the floor and brake late as you dare. Hayden makes a much more simplistic move. Down towards the Ryokan curve and through into P11. Now he goes, as that's a Williams bailing into the pit lane in the form of Infratic. Been a bit of a low-key day for Infratic. Usually has the pace to make his way up the order. He's just been caught up in the mid-pack. Hasn't quite gone his way today.
Yeah, not really going his way. Not really going any of the, the traditional top half, apart from obviously GB and Ben, who are currently leading the Grand Prix. Alex Gillen really struggling with the race. Infratic down there as well, with Meraki also in that 14th position. Hayden Gullis is looking to another move. Will he get P10 on the Williams driver here? He certainly will, and blast past that number 10 of Williams. Or will he get the braking zone right? He certainly does. He's just got to get Safso up there, and he's already in the top 10. Brilliant drive for Hayden Gullis already this afternoon. Still 21 laps to go, so you never know where he could finish in this one. But right now, it's getting a little bit of the lull period of the race, but Kareem deciding to completely take the words out of my mouth and go for his pit stop in P6. He's going to drop a few places, but he's going to go onto those fresher tyres, which he will very much enjoy.
And hard compound tyres, which Alex Gillen did not like so much, but perhaps Kareem can extract more potential out of those. Audi driver onto the white stripe tyre, and I'm keeping a keen eye on the telemetry as well for everyone, ladies and gentlemen, because the real question is the pace of Alex Gillen versus those up at the front of the field. Most of them are in the high to maybe mid 1 minute 7s if you're lolling over, as Hayden Gullis takes another place. He's up to P7. Safso follows him on through. Tries to anyway. Concept brakes as late as he damn well dares. You know what? It's still side by side, so bravery on the brakes has paid off handsomely for the RB driver at the moment. Safso's going to have to fight it at another opportunity. They're all at the front in the mid to late 1 minute 7s and 1 minute 8 if you're GB. Alex Gillen, because he's caught up in traffic, can only really get a low 1 minute 7. It's not enough at the moment, but when he clears that traffic, when he does get the clear air, that's when we'll see the potential. Hayden Gullis is also going to be a great barometer for this.
Yeah, he's 11 seconds off of that guy Vince, who, as I say that, makes his pit stop. Everyone's just commentated cursing me this afternoon. But yeah, he's 11 seconds off the top pack. And he's in a pretty good pace as well on these hard tyres. You've got to remember, the guys who are leading this Grand Prix are on, 32 lap old hard tyres. Some of them are going to the end, some of them are not. Ricky 03 being the one that still has to pit along with GB for those medium tyres. So it'll be really interesting later on in this Grand Prix to see how this is going to play out. Because honestly, at this moment of time, I don't know.
I don't know either. And here's another thing I don't really know, and that is the fuel situation, because that is a talking point. Lift and coast means you can run a lot lower on the fuel. And I know one fact, and that is Ben is down on fuel, but not by much. Minus 1.1 laps of fuel. I don't know how much he started with, but as far as I know, the lift and coast zones, namely being turn number 3 at Remus and turn 4 at Schlossgold, are great for saving that fuel. In fact, Austria isn't really the fuel hungriest track in the game, so Ben can just save the fuel, take it at a bit of a canter, but not too much, because Tom 97 just blitzes the McLaren driver. The Orange Overlord can't keep that kind of power behind. Tom moves on through into P2. He's got a race win to get. It was pole in qualifying. Now he wants all the points in the account.
Yeah, he certainly does, and he's played a little bit of a blinder this afternoon. We saw at one point he was sitting down in, P6, P7, not really having the pace for the front runners, but now he saved his tyres, saved his battery, and here he goes. This is the moment that he wants. He is really starting to put the pressure on as Dago Vince is left the session, which I think where is he on the grid? Just trying to find him. Can't even see him on the grid. P11, there we go. As right now, it is looking good for Tom at 97. GB still leading that Grand Prix, though, but yet to make another pit stop. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, there is only 3 drivers in that top 5 that have made all their pit stops, and those are both Cadillacs and the McLarens. The Aston Martin and Ricky 03 have not done it just yet.
8 more laps to go. That's all they can goal hang for as well. 8 more now, 7 more laps before that obligatory or maybe deliberate safety car period is curtailed. And then they do have to pull the trigger. It's a game you try and play. You put Lady Luck. You put your cards on the table, play all the aces. Sometimes she's kind, sometimes she slaps you across the chops, like she did with me in Mexico in Season 11. But GB looking to try and ride that luck, as is Ricky 03 in the top 5. Tom 97 getting closer and closer. Ben again just dropping off as he looks to save the fuel. Alex Gillen moves on through past Hayden Gullis. They're going up towards turn number 3. Then Academic move with the blaze of boost. And the Haas car moves up into P6. That's the championship leader. We don't really talk about it too much, but he is leading by a minuscule margin. Only really touch on it, allude to it briefly. But he's having a little bit of a quiet race at the moment. A safety car could change everything, though.
Yeah, it certainly could. He's enjoying these tyres a lot more than he was the hard the hard compound of tyres. As GB is in the pit lane, ladies and gentlemen, one of the top drivers who are making their pit stop. But let's not forget, GB has a time penalty, which he may have served under the safety car. I think he did serve under the safety car, so he doesn't have to serve that 10 seconds now. Ricky 03 also in the pit lane, going onto the soft tyres. So GB onto mediums, Ricky onto softs. And how close are they going to come out to this pack that is just coming up to them now? And I think it's going to be very close indeed. Is the Aston Martin GB going to come out in front of Alex Gillen? And he does by literally less than a second. But Ricky 03, with dropping off his pace a little bit too much, has gone down into 9th place. He has got some work to do and recovery to get himself up through the grid.
Guys, race critical for GB as well to get ahead of Alex Gillen and of Hayden Gullis. Alex has been 9 laps on those medium tyres. So GB now has the freedom to bring them into the window. Just take it nice and easy and then plant it down. 16.5 seconds. That's the gap you can see on the left of your picture. Can GB in 16 laps take that margin down, usurp the top 3, and take what could be an absolutely memorable race win? But that's pending if the drivers in the top 3 don't react. They could still react. They've used all 3 of their tokens, but they can still get on to another set of the softer tyres and put it beyond doubt. At the moment, they stay out. GB through the final 2 corners. Gap remains at 16.5 seconds, and now we'll see him really pummel on the pace. Tom leads from Tiamat Marduk, but it might not be for long. Gap was under a 10th. Tom just defends the inside line. Ben has to wait for the next corner at Schlossgold, but he'll just sit in the slipstream once again, I feel. Save on the fuel. He's going to keep burning the battery, but there's the lift and coast to put the move beyond doubt. Tom remains in the lead of this race. GB has already gained a second to Lolin over.
He certainly has, and this is going to be a really exciting end to the race. Do not go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen, apart from if you need to go get your popcorn break and your drink filled up, because this is going to be a blockbuster ending to the Grand Prix. 15 seconds off the top 3. And yes, we have not seen how this is going to end. Obviously, the top 3 on those hard tyres, but we've seen how those hard tyres diminish in value. Will they work together? Because battling is only going to slow them down inside that top half.
Cortisol levels are going to reach an all-time high, potentially, for the top 3, as GB has just absolutely minced the gap. Tiamat Marduk moves into P1, again, with the extra surplus of boost at his disposal. Into P1 he goes, once again, looking for his 2nd race win of the season, his 3rd podium of the season. Tom 97 looking to improve on his results. He's had constant improvement so far. Got a podium last time out at the Madrid. Could get 2nd place, nay, maybe even 1st here at the Austrian Grand Prix. GB, though, with what could be an absolutely electric strategy and create an electric end to this race. And as our producer says, cue the safety car.
Well, let's hope, for our sake and the audience's sake right now, because the gap is now 13 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. It is coming down second by second. But before we get into the final stage of this Grand Prix, I'm going to throw it over to our man in Clipbook Corner. You've got a couple of clips for us, I hear, Josh.
Yes, indeed I do. The first one, wrong button, We're going back quite a while, all the way back to lap 26 of the race. This was the safety car restart, but we saw Ryan L83 unfortunately get it a little bit wrong on the brakes. It wasn't even that big of a mistake, but he tried to hang on in there, went wide onto the gravel, and as a result, dropping a lot of positions, over 10 positions lost. In fact, comes out 18th once he finally is able to sort himself out, make that 19th actually, as Checkers gets through as well. So yeah, not the best way to restart, considering how strong he's been looking, especially at the start of this race. This was the DNF here from Grid Jokes. He's not been too happy with the battery. That was the main reason, I believe, for the DNF. Puts it into the wall and then parks himself upside down very quickly. Black screen, but yeah, not enjoying the battery there for Grid Jokes. And then it was indeed Ricky 03. You saw going deep down at turn 3, hiding off in the runoff. And again, just a couple of drivers struggling on the brakes. Didn't really even brake that late. Just on the curb, a little bit of a lock-up, takes himself out onto the runoff, able to rejoin and only lose one position to Lolanover.
Thank you very much, Josh. And of course, Grid Jokes crash is what gifted George Russell pole position. Who would have known? Lap 58. Tom 97 moves into the lead again of this race. Lap number 59. We are just 3 tours away from the, well, what's the word I'm looking for? There's a certain word in the English language that dictates what this means, but I can't quite remember it. The compulsory, not compulsory, you know what I mean. It's a possible safety car period, essentially. If you want to sledgehammer it into a wall, you can, but you've only got 3 attempts to do it. So, through the final corner, and great news! Ben has saved all the fuel. I told you, Austria, great track for saving fuel, and he has done it just there. Tom is down on fuel, though, 0.9 down. So realistically, probably wants to slot in behind, but they can't afford to do that. GB gap to Lolanover now is 10.8 seconds.
10.8 seconds with 11 laps to go, and a huge fight in the midfield between Hayden Gullers, Meraki, Ricky 03 and Kareem 7T. It's all to play for in these final laps of this Grand Prix. And yes, he said only 2 laps to go before the essential safety car will not be allowed to be called anymore. Of course, any actual safety cars can still be called. But right now, we are looking at a blockbuster ending to this Grand Prix. But GB's got to keep that pace up. 10 seconds with 11 laps. He's got to be making up a second every single lap if he wants to get there to the top 3. And at the moment, his pace is looking like he can do that. Now, 9.8 seconds. He's going to get there before the last lap of this Grand Prix.
It really does, and you have to call into question. I was surprised that the top 3 didn't react to it. The new tyres will hold their pace very strongly indeed. GB's proving that exactly. So I'm surprised at least one of them didn't put on a fresh set of tyres, react to it, and then get on down the road as quickly as possible. But regardless, they put all the eggs into the hard tyre basket. 38 laps old now, those hard tyres. GB's mediums, 6 laps old. As Ricky 03 goes through with the soft compound tyres, the Fury of Ferrari is into P6. What could have been for Ricky 03 in so many ways. Still all to play for, though. Potential P5 on the road could present itself, but possibly no more than that. GB is escaping into the Styrian sunset. Theoretically, of course, there's no actual sunset. So we head on to lap number 61. Last chance, everyone. You've got to try and make those safety cars happen, but it doesn't look likely. Tom leads, Ben leads, Lolanover, and then GB is now under 10 seconds off the lead.
Yeah, the thing is, the safety car comes out now. That safety car window is very much closing, becoming very small as we see the lead change hands once again. Tia Marduk going in front of Tom 97, who probably, at this moment, is starting to panic and starts to fuel save with minus 0.9 on his fuel. Ben will still be a little bit worried about his fuel at the moment, but he will be saving very much so going into the last few laps. Kareem 7T up ahead of Ricky 03. Hayden Gullers still sitting inside the top 10 in P9, just behind Meraki and just behind this battle for 6th place. But here we are, the 2 Cadillacs, toe and toe together between 2nd and 3rd. Tia Marduk still leading this Grand Prix. But honestly, at the moment, I'd put all my money on GB68, who's down in 4th place with 7.5 seconds, the gap between the front and himself.
And through the final corner come the top trio. Lap 62 for them, at least. Means they can't cause an intentional safety car, but there are drivers behind still on lap number 61 that could spruce up Spielberg just a little bit. Tom pushing Ben through the first corner, trying to fuel save, but he wants to get a move on with it. They know what the score is. GB is absolutely flying. A 1 minute 6.6. It was 2 seconds faster than Tom 97's time, and nearly 2 seconds quicker than Ben and Loganoba. This is extremely impressive pace from GB as he looks to put the lead well beyond doubt in the Aston Martin car, bearing in mind as well, could technically become our first repeat winner here in Austria. He won it, of course, in the reverse direction in Season 10. Could be our first ever driver in Creator Series to win in Austria, going forwards and backwards.
Well, that would certainly be a great historical note. To be fair, if there was any sort of record I'd want, it's going forward the fastest and going reverse the fastest. That's what I want in the history books. But yeah, he's going to be on them before that last lap. The worry for the top three at this point is if their tyres start dropping off the cliff like they look like they are doing, is it going to open up the door to Alex Gillen, Kareem, and then there's a bunch of cars behind them from Hayden Gullis down to Kareem. They could all be getting over them into the top three. I am very surprised that none of them split their strategies, especially the two Cadillacs, who are in the same team, not splitting their strategies.
Well, there's not necessarily a teamwork game, of course, being Creator Series. Meraki goes down the inside of Ricky 03 and Kareem 70, two for the price of one, into the Niki Lauda curve at turn number 1. But yeah, I'd have to agree. I'm surprised that none of them did split or try and go for a newer tyre. I thought at least Lodinoba would, because he was well clear on the fuel. Tom 97 with a bit more lift and coast to do. Just had to maybe play it a bit more safe. Ricky's soft tyres look like they have hit a brick wall. Hayden Gullis trying to make his way back on through into P8. Just rampant and rapturous racing everywhere you look. The Red Bull's through at the home track into P8 once again. GB 4.8 seconds. Now the gap towards the cars ahead. 1.3 seconds quicker than Lolinoba on that previous lap. The tyres are holding very, very well, and that's purely because his tyres are only 9 laps old. Top 3 are on 41 lap old tyres. They are going to be feeling all the pain and shame.
And you can start to see GB in the background. Those Cadillacs will start to see them in the mirrors, and that psychologically changes what you are doing in this Grand Prix. I must say as well, Ricky 03, he's looked so good in this Grand Prix, and the strategy to start on the mediums was brilliant as we see the two race leaders battling it out wheel to wheel through turn 3, and will the Cadillac once again take that position? But all this battling, all this fighting is just making that Aston Martin. You can see him right there in the background closing in. There's a big lock up from Timo Marduk there into turn 4 and 5, but keeps his lead. But yeah, as I was saying, Ricky 03, Tom 97 does take that lead. Ricky 3 looking great, but those soft tyres on that last stint just hasn't hold out maybe the way he wanted to.
Absolutely. I'm trying to just think about what the strategy is up at the top now. I think Ben just wants to cause chaos, and that is absolutely fair, being Creator Series and the way we run, but also because it means that GB doesn't have the greatest time of it. There he is. 2.7 seconds now off Lolinoba. He's caught 1.7 seconds just on this lap. Make that even more as he crosses the line to complete his 65th lap of the race, and he is still well over a second ahead of everybody else as that Scotty Designs you hear roaring in the pit lane in the Audi car. He has boxed for what will probably be a fresh set of soft compound tyres to take away the fastest lap. Tim Marduk's taking away P1 again though, down the inside with plenty of fuel in the tank for the McLaren. Tom 97 shown the sausage curb on the outside, and that means Lolinoba is going to pick the place off him as well. Through goes the first Cadillac, the second Cadillac on the inside, breaks as late as he damn well dares. It's going to be a slice and dice between the American team up towards the left-hander, which Tom 97 duly wins. But there's GB, and now he's under 2 seconds behind. Like you say, Alex, this battling does zero favours for them.
No, it really doesn't. And at this point as well, Alex Gillen, not having that pace I thought he would have. He's not really catching up to what GB and Lolinoba is doing. He is on older tyres. I think our man in Clipboard Corner did mention that he was already on 12% tyres when he pitted for his new set. So he's already struggling on those tyres. So I mean, Meraki, Kareem, Hayden will all be looking at that position, maybe going for the P5 position. But here is GB, Lolinoba and Tom 97 once again swapping in that Cadillac. He's almost in that zone as Tom 97 has a massive tank slapper coming out of turn 1. And here is GB. He is in the active aero zone on lap 66. Thank God for that, because we don't have to say the name of the next lap.
Tom 97 feeling the heat. GB's looking for glory in green in the Styrian Hills, lap 66. has caught up a lap ahead of expectation, so we didn't have to say the lap number in question. Thank you, GB. Towards Schloss Gold they go, and all the while he eats into that margin. What was 4 tenths now is 3. Quickly will turn to 2, but has to wait. Is there battery potential? Games to be played between the top 3. You can only say they can do so much because on tyres that much younger, Tom's tyres we're hearing over 60% wear. And that's extortionate in comparison to what GB will be feeling. So he heads through the final 2 corners, and pending he's saved up enough battery, the tyres will do all the heavy lifting. Here we go, Alex. A triple tussle to the end.
It certainly is. We've got 3 laps to go. We are on with... I'm not going to say it. I was going to say it, but I'm not going to do it. GB is in 4th position, and he is right on this Cadillac battle. And they are struggling on tyres, they are struggling on battery, and they are struggling to hold on to their podium finishes. And the Cadillacs are still fighting each other. This proves how little teamwork matters here in the Creator Series. And here comes GB. He's going to go for it. Will he find a gap on the outside? No, it's closed by the 2 Cadillacs, but he's going to have to go down the inside. Oh, it's late by GB, but he's made it work. He's up into P2, and somehow he's made it through with little to no contact. That's ridiculous from the Aston Martin.
1 car to go then, between himself and what will be an absolutely superlative race win. Ben is probably helpless to resist now. He's going to have all kinds of words to say to the 2 Cadillacs. What were you thinking? Battling out of turn number 3. GB wasn't even going to size up the move. Now he's just got 1 car between himself and a win, not just backwards, but forwards around Austria. Lap number 68 we go. And through the first corner will go the Aston Martin. Again, save up the battery. He's got the overtake mode. Ben keeping it slow on the apex. Again, trying to pile on pressure and cause chaos. Put the cars in a precarious position to stop GB having the run he would have wanted. But resistance is futile. GB down the inside at Remus corner to put everyone under his spell. It's P1 at the Red Bull Ring. An inspired strategy. Late call to medium tyres. He had to make the call, but boy has he played it to perfection.
He certainly has. GB pulling off a strategic masterstroke. No safety car messing up that push. And that was beautiful stuff. Alex Gillen, on the other hand, is losing time hand over fist. He was miles clear of that pack. He's now fallen down to 6th place. And I think, honestly, by the next lap, he could fall down to 8th.
It looks entirely possible. It's all fallen apart for the Haas driver in a matter of moments. Earlier calls onto tyres was not the gamble. And now it's Kareem. Now it'll be Hayden on the outside of the Jochenrindt curve. Sailing on through is the Red Bull driver. It's not the first time we've seen a car go clean around the outside at the penultimate corner. But another sensational move from Hayden Gullis, who's going to get a second car here towards the Niki Lauda curve, down the inside on Kareem 17, and then it will be a dynamic drag race between the Audi and the Red Bull. Kareem's going to burn the battery, he's going to hold it, and then Hayden at the next phase goes, you know what, I'm going to burn some more as well. Kareem has no choice but to defend the inside. The art of give and take in 2026 regulations being shown in front of your very eyes.
And certainly this is going to be one hell of a hard choice for a driver of the day this afternoon, because all of these have been fantastic for Hayden Gullis driving through the field. GB and Ben, obviously 1 and 2, brilliant stuff from them. The 2 Cadillacs have driven fantastically. Ryan L83, who may have only qualified 3rd and dropped down quite far, has recovered to 10th place and may still finish inside the top 10 this afternoon. But Hayden Gullis is not done. He wants that P6 position. We are on the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix, and GB is 1 second clear of Tiamat Marduk. It's looking like it's GB's afternoon.
GB hasn't won a race since season 11, when we had run the realistic performance cars. He won in the Kick Sauber at the very first round in Azerbaijan. Since then, maybe disillusioned with the realistic cars, disillusioned with the 2025 regulations. He is rejuvenated, he is revitalized going into the 2026 regs, and boy has he put on a show today. Had to make the call late onto medium tyres. He had no choice but to do so. Scotty Designs, by the way, takes the fastest lap, the only award that matters, but Tom 97 moves through into P2. We've still got podium positions to scrap for yet.
Yeah, he certainly is. Tom 97 may not be able to get the win, but he certainly wants the best position he can get, and that would be P2. As looks that Kareem goes on the inside of turn 6. Absolutely ballsy move that, but he doesn't make it stick. But that's just opened the door to Hayden Gullis, who's going to be fighting to the line for that P5 position, because can he possibly get Kareem and Meraki with a lap to go? Alex Gillen looking to pick up the scraps, but here we are, the last lap of the Grand Prix, 2.1 seconds clear, and GB is on his way to another Grand Prix victory, as you said, for the first time since season 11 in a Kick Sauber, when it all looked like it was falling apart from the Aston Martin driver. He might finally pick up that win that he's wanted for a while, as Tom 97 runs wide. He runs wide in turn 3, and is that going to cost him that second place? And honestly, it was such a rookie mistake, but those tyres must be screaming in pain, and it's cost him big, or has it? Because he brakes late to get that position back. Timo Marduk round the outside, they're both squirreling for grip, but Timo Marduk has the inside line, they bash wheels, but the McLaren driver takes second on the road, as we still got big battles in behind.
Oh, this is just brilliant. I will say it again. Creator Series at its chaotic and cutthroat best. And no better explanation and example of that than GB, who goes through the final 2 corners for the first time since season 11. Glory to the green machine. GB wins the Austrian Grand Prix to become the first driver in Creator Series to win, not just going forwards, but backwards as well around Austria. Ben takes another second place. Tom 97 replicates his third place from the previous round. Lolin Ober makes it a Cadillac 3-4. Meraki comes home in P5. The rest of the battles will settle down and simmer on through the final corners. Ryan L83 recovers to the top 10. Will anyone inherit from the time penalty? Safso definitely will at least inherit one place on the road for P11. Again, a finest moment for this series. Absolutely astonishing racing. And GB, I had the great pleasure of driving alongside him in Mexico in season 11. It was the greatest displeasure to see that would be his last race in the series, at least for a while. Since he's come back, revitalised, rejuvenated, ready for the action in season 13. What a spectacle he's put on. And this is his just reward.
It certainly is. Cinema moment for GB in that Aston Martin. Some would call it absolute cinema as he celebrates in his car there. It's a big win for the Aston Martin driver as he will celebrate that long into the night. And that will be your top 3. GB is on top of the top step once again for the first time since season 11. He's joined by Timo Marduk and Tom 97. A brilliant podium for a brilliant Grand Prix.
And a top trio that, well, really showed levels in the game. Levels in experience, levels in pace. It's a brilliant, brilliant celebration. The champagne flows on the podium, or insert any other sparkling drink. 7-Up free, who cares? Aston Martin wins, though, and these are the accolades. Hayden Gullis is cleanest driver again. Obviously, he dictated that result as as Jean-Marie Galestra. Ryan with the most overtakes, GB driver of the day, and Scooty with the fastest lap. Classification is this. GB, Tiamat Marduk, and Tom 97 are the top 3, with Lolin Ober, Meraki, Kareem 70, Alex Gillen, Hayden Gullis, Ricky 03, and Ryan L83, the top 10. The rest of the order is there on the right-hand side of your screen. The big question, I think, is strategy. I'm sure Scott Taylor is all over it, though. Back to you guys in the studio.
Did we just watch one of the best races? Oh my god, we got strategy. Guys, we actually got strategy for once. We didn't get a last-minute safety car. We got to watch GB come back by 16 seconds and essentially do a last to first, Josh. How good was that?
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. We've seen strategy properly play out here. No safety car to interfere there. And as you say, yeah, P1 and P2, they started P21 and P22 in this race. The fact that they were able to fight their way through and finish first and second, I think is really, really incredible.
It's insane what happened to Gillen. Gillen was in the mud today. Like, oh my god. Genuinely, they'd just done a last to first. I can't wait to talk to them and, like, talk about this. But let's look at some clips first. Josh, I hear you've got a couple.
Yeah, we're going to be focusing on the final few laps of the race. This was GB going for a very audacious move. He's hanging back here heading into turn 3, sees the two Cadillacs battling, and then decides now is the chance to try and go for the moves. Initially looking to the outside, I think hoping that the gap is going to open up, but it doesn't really have enough speed to pull alongside. Lifts off a little bit, looks to the inside here, and somehow is able to get the car stopped into that gap without any contact. Absolutely incredible stuff. 2 positions in 1 corner, and yeah, that really ultimately secured the victory for him, because if he did end up getting stuck behind, that could have been quite costly. We'll watch it as well from Tom 97's POV. We'll just jump forward a little bit here, a little bit slidey on the exit, of course. Tom and Lonanoba both at about 70% tyres, I think, at this stage of the race. You can see they're watching for where GB is, but then he's able to just switch to the inside. Despite Tom 97 braking so late, GB is just able to brake an extra 10 or so meters later, and that finds him that gap, that finds him the space, and it finds his way through into P2.
Oh, like what did we say to that, guys? That was awesome racing. Like, that's one thing I noticed today in this lobby was everyone was basically on it. They were respectful. The racing was fantastic. Oh, who did we talk to first? Did we just go straight to our race winner, I think, and we'll just talk to him and see what he says? I have very little words, GB. When I looked at the disqualification and qualifying, I thought to myself, what is this man doing? And then here you are with probably one of the coolest strategy decisions in Creator Series history. We got to watch you claw back, what, 16 seconds at the end? That was awesome, mate. Well done.
Yeah, I don't know. I was, honestly, I didn't really factor in the gaps when I boxed because I had to do the mediums for the mandatory 3 compound rule. So, firstly, it goes to show how good that rule is. If allowing no safety cars with a good mix of strategy, like it was awesome. It was so much fun to drive, but I just felt good all race. I don't know what it was. Like, battery management was really good, and we were kind of, I think, around the safety car when I was in a train because I got a 10-second penalty, so I had to get rid of that and put me down in like P14, and we just kind of made our way through with relative, like, not too much difficulty. So I was kind of like, okay, this feels good. I think we can make this strat work, and luckily it did. My chat was reminding me we took the lead on lap 68, so it was meant to be.
Oh, that's quite cool, actually. I like that. My brain doesn't quite comprehend how you and Ben were able to do it. I don't know, especially with 10-second penalties and stuff like that as well. But who cares? You're here. Like, so cool to see. What I need to talk about, though, is that move overtaking the 2 Cadillacs. Talk me through that.
Oh, yeah.
That was banging,
fun.
mate. That was good.
Yeah,
was
I was
clean.
kind of like, am I going to get boxed in here? It looked like Tom was trying to play it tactically. I knew I had way more grip on the tyres. I was running quite low brake bias at that point, and I felt quite confident late on the brakes. So I was like, I think there's a gap there. Yeah, go on then. Why not? And luckily made it work. To try not to squeeze too much, I think it was super clean. But yeah, GG's honestly, the grid today, I didn't see any, like, disrespectful bad driving. Like, it was honestly super fun. Everyone raced great wheel to wheel. So yeah, it was sick.
Yeah, you're 100%. We noticed that as well. Everyone was just on it today. Yeah, overtake of the week. I think that's pretty much guaranteed, to be fair. Oh, I'm actually being told we've had 5 reports put in against you from some of the other drivers. So we'll need to be, relooking at that, race win. But we'll see. Nah, we're joking. So you having fun? F1 26, you warming up to it now?
Yeah. I think we think the same, Scott, on the online thing. Don't get me wrong, like, it's divisive. It isn't real life. I'm obviously not trying to put a negative spin on this. I've not really been enjoying the game much, but I loved that race. That race, I'm not just saying that because I won. Like, the ability to race at that track, which I'm not sure if it's the case around every track, but definitely at Austria, it was super easy to just race other drivers. And in F1 25, look, we wouldn't have been lift coasting, but we would have also had loads of dirty air, and you would have seen a bigger train than what we got. So I hope that you guys, well, you and the viewers enjoyed watching it.
Banging.
I enjoyed driving it. So yeah, it was.
I don't understand actually how much I enjoy watching the races in this game. It doesn't make sense to me, but it's there. We're banging. You're the first driver, Creator Series to win Austria backwards and forwards. Well done, mate.
Nice, let's
Very
go.
nice.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah, the reverse one. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Also, it must be. I was saying to Ben just before I got dragged in that we. It must be the first time in CS history that the back 2 have gone to front 2.
It must
surely.
be. We'll look into it. Well, the stat man will look into that, but like 100%. Mate, well done. We're going to go talk to Ben now, but like, well done, mate. So nice to see you back properly and to see you winning and a smile on your face. So well done, mate.
Cheers, mate. Loving it. Let's go.
Take care, mate. Bye-bye. All right, let's talk to Ben, because GB wasn't the only person that was able to essentially do a last to first. There was one man who done a last to second. Ben,
Yes,
hello,
hello.
mates. Welcome. All right. So, why did you disqualify, and why were you so quick that you and GB just sort of steamrolled through everyone again? What happened there?
I've been a little bit off pace this game. You wouldn't believe, like in quali pace, but I felt a bit better today. Understanding the game a bit better, but I don't know. I just felt like doing something different today. I thought like it's been a while since I've started at the back. And like it's a good track for me. You know, you can overtake on this game. Contrary to what people say, you can overtake. And so I just wanted to have some fun, and we did just that. Me and GB, like GB had the same idea as me. Like he came into VC this morning, he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna start last." Oh, I'm starting last too. All right, let's do it. And so I think by the end of like lap 10, we were like basically the lead train. So we started at the back. We had all the benefit of the fun and the overtaking, and like. I don't know, like it felt like we could have started at the front and we would have ended up in the exact same place in the race. So I don't regret starting at the back one bit.
I love that. I actually agree with you. I feel like, yeah, no matter where you started, for some reason you were just going to make your way to the top today. So those hard tires at the end, they must have been getting rough, right?
They were, yeah. I got a tire wear indicator on like lap 68 or something. So they were above 60 or 65%. So I think by the end they were probably like 70% odd wear. And when GB arrived on the scene, he just romped past us. He was so much quicker. I was trying to work with Tom, but we didn't quite get the synergy right, and we cost ourselves some race time there. But I think GB was going to win. No matter what strategy he did or I did, if I boxed and followed GB, I knew like from an earlier stint that he was quicker, just following him. So
Fair.
He was the rightful winner today, so I can't take that away from him.
That basically, yeah, that was my next question. If you could have picked, do you think you could have got that win? But no, GB was just on top today.
I don't think so. I was a little bit harsh on tires today, and I think that probably didn't help things. So because I knew GB was quicker, and if I did the same strategy as him, I was probably going to finish second. So I chanced it with, the classic Creator Series late safety car. We didn't get it, but we still got a great P2 anyway, so I can't complain.
Well done. Do you know what we got? The viewers got. We got a proper strategy battle. We got to look at you guys up the top and watch GB just eat away the time. It was banging, mate. All right, brilliant. Well done. Nice to see you back up here. Looking forward to the next round.
I am indeed. I don't know where it is. Silverstone, maybe?
I don't know. I would hope.
Oh, yeah, it is Silverstone next week. It's the British Grand Prix. So another track just like Austria where I'm really, really strong at, but it's a nightmare for batteries. So get ready for 22 drivers complaining about battery for 2 hours.
Yes, I'm loving it, mate. All right, well done, mate. Go enjoy the rest of your night. Congratulations again.
You too, guys. See you next week.
See you, mate. All right, let's talk to Mr. Tom. Mr. Tom 97. Let's talk, because I did ask halfway through the broadcast, is Tom back? And I want to say, yeah, that was great. Hello, mate. Talk me through that race from your perspective.
Hello, mate. It was a fun one, really fun one. I think this game is battery, right? So every race we learn, and I'm like slowly understanding in a competitive aspect. Speaking here, everyone can do career mode, but in a more kind of league racing related point of view, I think learning how the battery works. I took a big step in this one, especially midway through the race. I thought I was a little bit handicapped on my setup. I think I might have had the worst speed trap and the highest wings out of everyone. So when I was trying to charge, it was a little bit difficult at times to kind of roll with the punches and stay in the pack and not get overtaken. But it worked in the corners, so it's a bit of that trade-off. But I learned a lot. And yeah, I think I'm slowly coming back to some form. Obviously, 2 P3s in a row is always good. Should have been P2 today, but it's P3 with an extra point for pole, so I'll take that.
Nice. If I was to look at your race, I'd maybe ask 2 quick questions. One, the hard tires going so long at the end, do you think that was still the right decision? Do you think there was a pit stop that maybe could have happened somewhere there, or were you just kind of stuck with what you had?
No, I think, look, the best strategy is what GB done, right? You would have boxed with 20-ish to go for a medium, which I also had available. But it's Creator Series, and I would say 9.5 times out of 10. 9.9 times out of 10. I don't recall the last time we had a race go green all the way to the end. So
right?
I was basically just waiting to save that medium for the last safety car and run that to the end. So it wasn't a terrible decision running the hard to the end. We knew it could run, it could get there and make it. So that was like option A. But yeah, obviously GB went for the option B gamble, and it worked out. So yeah, fair play to him. Nothing you can say really. Just got to make a decision, and he made the right one.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, my second question going into the last lap. You went wide. Potentially, that was probably the moment where maybe lost P2. Was it just was that the tires giving up? What was that? Just a normal mistake? What happened?
I'm not sure yet. I need to watch back my chat. I was, I felt like I did okay. I just ran deep on the brakes. I watched it back just now briefly, and I braked bang on the 100-meter board, so it seemed okay. But for some reason, I just kind of slid off track. So maybe a touch of rear locking. Again, obviously that could be tire induced possibly, but I need to just kind of get a few more clips, references from previous laps to see what I was doing on those laps from compared to the last one to see exactly how that went wrong. But at first glance, I was a bit thrown off how I done that because really I was under no pressure. I managed to cover Ben off pretty well out of turn one, and I thought I had it, yeah. So bit of a shame, but I'm not sure what the points difference is between P2, P3.
I think it's just the same. I don't know. You
right.
Don't ask me questions. I don't know, mate. I just smile.
Mean, the pole lap point will offset some of the hurt from that, so it's not the end of the world.
Well, do you know what? All I can say, mate, it's so nice to see you back, right up the top. I feel something brewing. It's only a matter of time. You here next week? Looking forward to Silverstone?
Who knows? You never know.
Who knows, mate? I love it. Right, go enjoy the rest of your night. Well done again, and hopefully we'll see you next time. All right, let's bring everyone back in. Let's end the show in some style. Carl, Alex, Josh, so nice to see you back. All right, Carl, if you had to choose one word to describe that race, one word. Right.
Yeah, tricky one.
Tough.
Let's go. Superlative.
Superlative. Love it, mate. Well done, Alex.
Good.
Good. Love it. Well done. Straight to the point. Josh, help me out here, mate. And he's muting.
He's got him
for the
again.
second time tonight, my friend. Well done.
Oh,
Let's see it.
Muted. There we go.
That's your words. Do you know what I'm going to say? It was banging. Well done to everyone tonight for not just giving us the standard stereotypical Creator Series race where we wait for a safety car in the last 7 laps and then 5 people die after the restart. We got to see some strategy. This was it. We got to see 2 opposing strategies meet in the last 5 laps. And we got to see some carnage and chaos, but respectful driving. It was incredible. Carl, Alex, I think you've both done a banging job tonight on the comms, and Josh on the clipbook. We know you didn't have too much to do, but you found some banging information for us throughout the race and provided us with some POVs that will definitely be seen throughout the week on the social media channels. So here you go, linking right in. Make sure you do follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, all of the big platforms, so you can see some behind the scenes. You can see GB's reaction to crossing the line, maybe some drama with Sanderson at the start of the race as well. Very unfortunate for him. All right, Carl, if we like you, where can we find you?
Well, I'll tell you where you can't find me. Frolicking with fish in Finchley. You won't find me there. But where you will find me is at my name, Carl Poranic. If you type that in mostly everywhere, you'll probably find me there. And because he likes it so much, shout out Gareth Allen. Alex, where can we find you?
Why do I always have to go after Carl? I can't think of anything funny to say after that.
I know, he's good.
You can find me on Twitter at Defling10, and you can find me on Twitch at Defling10. That's where you can find me mostly.
Bang. And Josh?
Yeah, you can find me _J.Richards24 on Instagram and now TikTok. I'm starting to post some of the clips over there as well. Yeah, I finally started to get into that stuff. And my Twitch, it's chocolate as well. Lovely stuff. And yeah, thank you to Gareth.
Gareth. Big up Gareth. Always big up Gareth.
Yeah.
Just so he hates to get mentioned. So here we go. Thank you so much, guys. I'm Scott Taylor. I've been your host tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure. Stay tuned to next week when we're back at Silverstone, baby. The battery is going to be an issue. It's going to be carnage. Sanderson will be in the bin. Fabio will be shouting at someone. And will Alex Gillen not be in the mud? There's only one way to find out. It's to tune in next week. Thank you very much. Goodbye.